Podcast. We love sports just like you.
Welcome to the Team Podcast, episode 024. My name is Nash, host of the Team Podcast. And we don't have Wells this week, Smythe.
Yeah, finally. Get him out of here.
And that voice you heard on the ones and twos is a great DJ Smythe.
Not a DJ.
But instead of Wells, because Wells is off at the Blue Jays home opener. Blue Jays lost, that's why Smythe's laughing.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
We got Benny on his second visit to the Team Podcast. Say what's up, Benny.
Hey, what up, folks? What's going on? Thanks for having me again. Number two on the podcast here for me.
Mm-hmm. And on his debut, we got Casey, the great Casey.
A.K.A. the Virgin.
AKA K.C.
Thanks, Benny. Thanks.
Casey J Ford. Don't forget the J.
CJ, don't forget the J.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? What did you guys get up to this week, Benny?
Work, man. Short week. Pretty busy. Family life. You know, of course, have to work. But things are good, man. Things are good. Getting ready for the long weekend. Get ready to have my seafood on tomorrow. So ready for the seafood. So Good
What's
Friday.
seafood?
Good Friday, man. Can't eat red meat.
Oh yes, you're Portuguese.
Yeah,
and
so-
you guys don't eat.
Catholics don't eat red meat on the Friday. So
We're all Catholics here. You eat red meat, Casey?
I'm not Catholic.
Oh, you're not?
I'm Anglican.
Oh, okay. You went to a Catholic school.
close enough.
I went to the closest school to my house.
You know, probably do that a little bit Bath and Beyond, but I'm not sure if I have enough time.
I'm sure.
Don't know if I have enough time.
'Cause I grew up with a lot. What the hell was that? I grew up with a lot of Italians, so obviously they were always like, went over for dinner. And seafood fit, very tasty, very tasty. But sometimes, I just wanted some beef. I just wanted some beef on it.
So you're saying you can't do it tomorrow? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not doing it tomorrow. Well, I got to work tomorrow anyway, but I'm not doing it tomorrow.
You gotta work on Good Friday?
Yeah.
Yo, things still open. Eating Center's still open.
Really? On Good Friday?
That's right.
Oh, time to
You don't skip a date, man.
Yeah, you got to make
Place
money.
open on Good
That place
Friday.
open like I think 24/7.
I
No
thought Good
joke.
Friday was like Christmas.
No, they literally open 365.
Essential services are open.
Maybe
As far as
Christmas Day
fast
they're
food.
closed. Eating Center's like it's a tourist spot. It's always open.
Yeah,
it's like the CN Tower.
Eden Center is a tourist spot.
Yeah, man.
Even on Christmas.
What exactly is at the Eden Center to make it a tourist spot?
It's a landmark.
It's a
If
mall.
you're in
It's a
Toronto,
landmark.
You
You
gotta
gotta keep
go.
it open.
Why?
H&M.
Doesn't matter.
What is at the Eden Center that makes it a landmark?
It's the
Lululemon
Eden
Center.
Center.
Does
Lululemon.
that mean to...
Yo, okay, check this. You go to like New York, like Times Square, and all those places. Like all those places are open. They don't close.
Okay, Times Square, I understand. Right?
Are you saying
Does
our place is
anyone
not as
out-
good as
does
Times Square?
anyone outside of Toronto actually know what the Eden Center is?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a big mall.
It's in the big mall, man. Even when you fly in, it tells you like places to go. And when you're in a plane, you click it on screens. Eating Center.
Yeah. Once you
Eden
get
Center,
there,
CN
is
Tower.
it special? Probably not. But it's a big deal. Them that square right outside, like it's.
Telling you, man. People always think like Toronto. It's
Hold
like
on. Let me ask you though. Let me ask you guys this question though. So every time you go to a city, are you going to search out their malls?
yeah, I've gone to malls, man. I went to Hong Kong. Went to like all the
You go
crazy
to
malls.
mall. Hong Kong's a little different because
IFM
it's
mall,
shopping.
the mall was crazy.
Why is
Eden
Hong
Center's
Kong
not
better
even
than
the best
Toronto?
mall
100 times
in
better.
the city.
What's the best?
It's not even the best mall in the
What's
city.
the
That's
best
my
mall in
point.
Toronto?
Yorkdale.
Yorkdale's better than Eden Center.
Yorkdale's better.
I think that's open too. No,
I
think every
close.
mall-
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, they might
Yorkdale
be.
is open. But
They
it's
might
not
be.
better.
They might be.
Square One I think is open.
Score
too.
One's part of it too.
Sorry, that was my smartwatch.
Fail. and then, ladies and gentlemen, he just lost the virginity.
Everyone was looking around for that voice.
Who's in whose pocket? No, but literally everything's like it's open, man. It's
It's open.
Times have
Everything's
changed.
I honestly didn't know Eden Center was a landmark. I understand CN Tower, I understand the Sky Dome.
Niagara Falls,
I
all that
understand
stuff.
all
man.
those things, but I really never understood Eden Center being a landmark.
It is, man.
There is nothing there, and nothing happens at Dundas Square.
Wow.
Have you been to Dundas Square lately?
No, clearly not.
It's very busy. It's very annoying.
A lot of
I
things
avoid
happen
it.
at Dundas Square.
Yeah.
I avoid it.
Yeah.
It's very busy though. But I
Nothing
avoid it.
happens at Dundas.
I love Toronto, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying there's a lot much better places to go in Toronto
100%.
than the Eden Center.
100%.
But on the holiday, when things are closed, what's open to go?
Good point.
There you go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I won that debate.
Anything you got up to this week, Casey? Nothing here. There?
This week? No, just like Benny, just working. This weekend I plan to relax.
Hold on, you were telling me something though. Atlanta? What were you talking about?
Yeah, I was looking up that new movie. I saw a trailer for this really I don't know how to describe it. It's like Empire on steroids.
What's it called? What's it called? What's it called? You didn't say it.
It's based out of Atlanta. I really don't remember the name of it.
Oh, okay.
I saw the commercial. I'm
great
gonna try and look it up, and when I find it, I'll
Let us
mention
know.
it. But I mean, I watched the trailer. I was like, wow, like this is.
Is the show called Atlanta? Actually, there's
No,
a show
it's
called
not
Atlanta.
It's not called Atlanta. That's
that's
Donald
the
Glover.
Donald
I heard
Glover.
that show's actually pretty
It's just
good.
based
but
in Atlanta. He went to work there.
It's
One-
based
one
in
in Emmy,
Atlanta.
man.
It's about like rappers and
Yeah, just like the show.
just the tip.
It's the same thing. It's the movie.
Yeah, so it
There
really
you
is Empire on steroids,
There you go.
right?
I love Empire. First of all,
I stopped watching it a while back.
I have not missed an
Oh,
episode.
I know the name of the show. Love and Hip Hop. No, just kidding.
I liked Empire.
What's better, Empire or Power?
I like Power.
I don't watch any. I haven't seen any of those shows.
Wow, I'm gonna go with Empire. You know why?
Really?
Do you remember Dallas from back in the day?
I do.
We were pretty young.
Yeah,
with
I
Jr.
remember this. Yeah.
Empire is like Dallas with now it's just a different antagonist character. He is evil.
Who? Terrence Howard's character?
Yeah. He's so well acted. It's so good. It's a good.
Okay, I'll
it's
keep on
actually a
watching.
very good show.
Yeah. I stopped watching. I think after half of season 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I've heard good stuff, but I never
You've
watched.
watched none of it, basically.
Oh, it's on one of the third season.
4.
Really already? Huh?
See, man, it's pretty-
Power is good though.
Power is good,
Power is a good show.
but it's like drug dealers, and I can't. Like, I'm tired of it. I can't do it.
What do you mean you're tired of it?
You
How many
can't-
shows?
You can't watch this new movie I'm talking about.
What do you mean you're tired of it? How many drug dealer shows do you watch?
Boys in the Hood, and then
was
Red-
like
20
90s.
years old.
That movie's
and then
like classic.
Juice, and then like
That movie's like 30 years
CB4.
old.
And I was like, I'm okay, I get it now. I'm
Any
done
other 90 movies you want to name?
We just watched Sicario and El Chapo and all that. Like it's a
I heard
lot.
Sicarios good though.
Like,
The
the
first
watched
one.
that
The first one was
They're
good.
coming out with part 2. I like that director though. They're coming out with a part 2.
The
I like
first
that
one was
director.
awesome, man. It was awesome.
That's with,
Mexico, man. My
Benny-
Mexicanos.
what's his name?
My family.
Benicio
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, Benicio del Toro.
He's good.
Family,
I
my
like him.
family. Shout out to Mexico. My family in Mexico. Mexico, ¿cómo estás, hombres?
Let's
Shout out to my
glorify
wife, too.
something positive. You know, like come on. Anyway, that's how I feel.
When did you come, Mr. Sunshine?
I don't know. I just sometimes you're like, I'm tired of watching this. Like,
All right, I guess.
We'll watch Blackish. That show's great. It's Cosby Show of today.
you know what? That was good.
So my partner's like she loves that show. Just watches Blackish all the time. So now I started watching and stuff like that. There was an episode called The Nod, and all of us here sitting here are all of black descent. So, and when we see another black person on the street, I don't know.
Give 'em the
how to say it. We give them the nod.
nod, yeah, it's a
We
nod.
give 'em the nod. So they're on a campus, right? And then him and his son were walking, and he saw a black man, and he gave him a nod, but his son didn't move. He's like, "What the hell?" He didn't understand black, blah blah blah. Then they go back to the kitchen table, and he was like, he's talking to his grandpa, who's played by Lawrence Fishburne, and he's like, "Yeah, we went on campus, and Junior didn't give him the nod." And Lawrence Fishburne damn near jumped off across the table. He's like, "Something wrong with your neck, boy?"
That's so funny, man. Actually, you know what? I've encountered a similar thing, but totally different. When one time I was with my daughter, right, and I was walking with her, and I was pushing the stroller, and there was another dad by himself pushing the stroller. We both looked at each other. We're like,
Dad
nod,
nod.
dad. I was like, that's a first.
know
I've
what?
never encountered that before. That was the first time. That was
Watch
awesome.
that episode of Blackish. It kind of alludes to that everyone has their own
Own little thing.
nod.
thing. Right?
But yeah, Black Show, I'm probably gonna get into a little bit more.
But that is your positive show. If you want to watch a positive show, that's your positive.
I
show.
do like positive shows.
Since when?
Since always.
Modern Family's pretty positive.
I love that show.
I love that.
I love
show.
Modern- I
It's
love
awesome.
the show, yeah.
Good
That's-
show.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, that's an awesome show.
Have you guys seen this bracket, this Disney bracket that's up?
That's whack, man. I saw that.
Did you see the results?
Yeah, because they're missing so many movies, though.
Oh, man.
How's Peter Pan out there?
Oh, I got to send you this. The bracket it must have been done by millennials because I think it's Pixar movies.
Lilo and Stitch. Get the...
It was Pixar movies
who won?
against.
No, it's your choice.
No, there was somebody posted something and there was like winners, and then because we were talking about last night, and they were like, "Oh man, I wish I could find the results because I can't find it right now." Someone's screaming at me like the results is blah blah blah. But it was like Hercules and something. What, like,
Lilo and Stitch, man. That movie, like, really?
I'm like, really? Like Lion King was out early. Like Hercules beat it.
Hercules beat Lion King?
Yes.
Can't respect that list now. That's how that goes, right?
I'm like, this list must have been done by millennials. Like,
Well, if Lion King loses, then you can't.
yeah, as soon as Lion King's out, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
done with this list.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I have the bracket, but I just don't have the results.
You
So
know the winner. Well, realistically, what movie was better than Lion King, Disney wise?
I
Beauty
personally,
and the Beast was really good.
like Aladdin. That's my all
Aladdin-
time. That's my
Aladdin,
all
Lion
time.
King.
That's my all
I
time
had him going
favorite.
face to face though, like during the Final Four bracket. And I was
Final
like,
Four?
God damn, I don't know which one to go with.
So your final four is Aladdin, Lion King.
No,
Toy Story 3?
I never watched it. I heard it's
Really
good. And again, it was out early in that thing. Toy Story 3 was out early.
Wow.
That's just my personal favorite. I would say Aladdin, Lion King. I'm guessing just the whole table is saying the same thing.
You know what movie I haven't watched, but I heard it got really good reviews? Is Coco.
That I haven't watched either.
I heard that was good, man. I heard it was really good.
But that's a Zootopia movie.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That
Yeah,
was a really
that was a
good
good movie.
movie, too.
That was
Up
good.
was awesome.
Never saw Up.
Up was a
Very
great
good.
movie, man.
Very
Great
good.
movie.
Very good.
It's not
movie,
even
man.
on the caliber of Lion King. It's not even
No,
on
it's
this.
not.
No, no.
Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Little
Beauty-
Mermaid.
Beauty and the Beast,
Those
man.
movies all
but that
came out
relates
in
to
the
us, though,
stretch.
man. But
But
they're
that was-
missing. They're missing like Peter Pan, like.
Oh, those are
Cinderella.
early, though. Those are
yeah,
early,
but
though.
still, man.
That stretch that Casey was talking about, that
Yeah,
stretch was
that was fire on fire
That
on
was
fire.
just like they couldn't lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mulan came out and ruined everything.
Yo, Little
Listen,
Mermaid
the best,
too.
the
There's
best
a bunch
Peter
of
Pan
movies.
movie was Hook. Right?
Hook was fantastic.
Hook was the best Peter
Wait,
Pan
did you
movie.
say Hook?
I said Hook.
I was trying to think in my head, what cartoon was that? I was
No,
like,
it's not a cartoon.
are you talking about Rob Williams?
Yo, that was the
Yeah.
best Peter
Oh
Pan
my
movie.
god.
Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
That was the
No,
Yeah,
you
that's
know
the best
what?
Peter
Oh
Pan
my
movie.
god.
What's the one that just came out?
Pan.
That was awesome.
Yeah, because it's a realistic type of view, I guess.
That was an awesome movie.
You know what? I
Forget
haven't
everything
seen
else.
it, but it ain't better than Hook.
When you watch that movie, you're gonna be like, it's close.
Rufio.
Yeah, that's
Oh my god.
This is why I loved it. I loved Hook because of Rufio. He was the best.
Hook got 29% on Rotten
Who cares?
Tomatoes.
Who cares Rotten
So what about
Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes?
Who cares Rotten? I can't trust them.
I didn't like that movie at all.
I can't
Really?
trust
That
them
movie
at
was
all.
trash. I can't believe you said that.
Yo,
When's the last time you watched it though?
I can watch that right now. If
Was
that
it-
came,
what?
on, if
I-
that came
that-
on Showcase right now,
That wasn't my
I would
question.
watch it.
That was not my question. When's the last time you watched it?
I don't know. I'm gonna watch it.
When I first watched
I'm gonna
it,
watch it this weekend.
Casey's like, I've seen it once. I love it. I love that
When I
movie.
was 15, I watched it. It was great.
I've seen that movie a few times, man. You gotta watch that movie. That
I'm
movie's
not
a
watching it. It's
classic.
crap.
That movie's a
I've watched it
classic.
twice. It's
Hook?
not good. Yes, I watched it twice. It's not good.
Wow.
It's not
See,
good.
this is why I can't trust him.
Yo,
I can't trust Nash's opinions on anything.
I know.
Dude, excuse me?
I can't. You can't just tell me Hook isn't good. No.
Weren't you the one that said like Justice League should have been nominated for an Oscar?
Oh
No.
my god. You need to leave now.
I said I appreciate.
I didn't watch that movie. Watch 5 seconds of it, and I was done. I'm like, turn this off.
I appreciate it. I knew what it was going in.
You can't trust my opinion about movies?
I'm just saying, man. I can't.
That's terrible.
Can't just tell me saying Hook is terrible.
So since we're in this movie watching phase, let's go into our recommends and warns. So to the new guys, we do recommends and warns just before we get into like our actual sports topics. So this can be anything: podcasts, movies, whatever you guys think. I'll go first. Let Smythe go, and we'll allow you guys to go. So my recommend for this week is Wind River. The same guy who did Sicario. Excellent movie. It was so good, so satisfying. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. It's on Netflix. Watch it. Just watch it. So good.
Just watch it.
It's really good.
So it's better than Bright.
100% better than Bright. 100% better than Bright. Watch Wind River. It's with Jeremy Renner and who's the girl who plays Scarlet Witch? The Olsen sister there. Anyway,
One of them.
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The whole time watching the movie, I'm like, why do you guys waste your time doing Avenger movies? You guys have so much talent. And you're wasting your time doing
You're
Avenger
so much
movies.
better than
You're
this.
so much better than this. It's really good. That's all I'm going to say about that. And my warn is going to be, do you guys remember the show Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, it was thought to be groundbreaking and stuff like that. It's really stupid. I rewatched it. I rewatched it this month. It's really dumb. There's a lot of concepts in there. It's like, okay, so one thing that happened in the show, it's a lot of killing, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But one thing that happened in the show, so these Asian refugees got stuck in the States. So what they decided to do was take all these Asian refugees and put them in government buildings. One of those government buildings was a prison. So they put in these Asian refugees with murderers, rapists, and like serial killers, like just around. These Asians were dying left, right, and center, and nobody did anything about it.
Oh, is this happening in real life?
No, it's not.
I was
It
gonna
was on the
say.
show. No.
For a second, it
you're
sounded
like
like the
what?
movie Tower, eh? Remember that movie Tower?
Yeah. Nobody.
Fire.
I'm watching this. I'm like, this show is stupid. I guess at the time it was kind of groundbreaking and stuff, but now that I'm rewatching, I'm like, no, this would not fly today. It's not a good show.
Well,
It's,
I mean-
it was not a good show.
If it happened on Oz and it happened on Tower, chances are
Did it happen?
that's right.
I look at shows that happened in the past, and
With certain like,
I try not to look at it with the new eyes.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Of what we should expect today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at old movies like Gone with the Wind. There was some racist stuff in that movie.
Oh, those were the
right?
happiest
But that
slaves. Those were the happiest slaves I've ever seen.
that was a. But if you really watch, it's a great movie.
No, it's good,
especially
man.
if you watch it through that lens, through
Yeah.
the lens of the time, right? So, I try to do that with TV
Yeah.
shows as well, to a degree, right? I've never actually seen Oz, so I can't speak much on it. But I heard it's a really good show.
Yeah.
I could tell at the time it was groundbreaking because it was very shocking at the time. But looking at it now, I'm like,
People dying on
yeah.
Oz.
You got to recommend Warren Smith?
Yeah, man. I recommend going to video games. Just got Far Cry 5. Shout outs to Gordon, who picked it up for me, even though the wife said I couldn't get it. Go, Gordon, go. You're the best.
He bought it for you?
Yeah, he was like, hey, man, I got an extra copy. I'll sneak it in her bag. He actually works on my wife's work, so it's her friend. And yeah, anyway, I have it now. Fantastic. It's based on, I guess, 90s Montana. There's a cult. You have to kill them. And they actually make you really want to kill the guy that's the antagonist. They do a very good job of the religious cult, bring you into that vision and seeing how it goes.
What is Far Cry? What is Far Cry? Is it first
First,
shooter?
yeah, it's a first-person shooter. You just take a guy and they throw you in a story. So it's not a backstory to the game. Every game's completely different. So this game, they've created a world, created a story,
really?
and you go in and you gotta just overtake it and beat the call. And it's fun, but the storytelling is what's compelling. It makes you want to play the game. It's very good. If you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, looking for something to play, you can dig 40 hours into this game and you will not be disappointed. I promise. That's it. And my warrant for the week, I think, is The Walking Dead.
Oh my god.
How far that show has come down.
So far.
And then it makes
so
me
bad.
it makes me say, like, if you invested, like if you start at the beginning and you're in season 2 and you know season 2 is super slow, like you don't have to go all the way.
Just stop.
Yeah, right.
But it got so good for a while, man. So
It
so
had a
bad.
couple of good seasons, but now it's at a point where they're just trying to do things, trying to couple stuff just to shock.
But the
and
comic's so good, though.
the comic is fantastic.
But they're going with the comic.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are right now.
There's certain things that are
Well,
happening
yeah, a couple of-
that are you're losing moments that make the comic great. A and B, it's just continuing to the point where people that are day ones are completely tuned out now. And if you're joining in too late, you're just gonna get an experience.
Well,
that,
the ratings have gone down to back to season 1 again.
yeah,
Like,
and
Really?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
They've dipped so far now.
but it's going too long. After 8 seasons of anything, I think every show's done, unless you're The Simpsons, and you could run for 30 seasons, right?
They've been done for a while.
Right? So yeah, and I think they've come up and they've gone down. And they've gone down that path where it's time to end it. So if you haven't got started yet, don't bother. Is that wrong to say?
No,
no,
that's
it's
what
not wrong,
your,
but
that's what your
read the
warrant is
comic.
for. That's your warrant for.
And the comics are awesome, man.
You guys got
They're
to
free online.
Yeah. You guys got to recommend or warn?
Recommend. Actually, it's been a while since I watched a movie, so the only time I get to watch
You
movies.
can do an
are-
old one. You can do an old one.
No. But I still watch a couple of ones, but there's a few documentaries. Like the one thing I don't do is like let my wife choose the movies because they're like the most saddest movies ever. And it's just like she's like, oh, it's gonna be nice, but then she's like, oh,
This is that's the movie.
And it's like movies like she'll pick a movie and next thing you know, like the child dies. Like it's just the worst thing. So, anyways, I gotta let her stop watching. Picking movies,
That's
but-
his warrant for the week.
I know, that's the warrant. Don't let your wife pick your movies. Sorry, honey. But a couple ones I'd probably recommend is since a little bit sad, but there's a documentary called Cries from Syria, and you really need to watch. If you really want to know what's going on in Syria, you need to watch that.
I don't want to watch that.
Yeah,
I've looked at it so many times. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not in the mood.
It is rough, but it tells you the raw of what's really
Yeah.
happening out there. Another great one, actually, business-wise, is letting you know what's sort of happening is Hot Coffee. If you ever watched that one,
Heard of it? Haven't watched it.
that was awesome. So it basically starts with the story about the lady back in the U.S. where she like sued McDonald's for I don't know how many millions of dollars. But then you get the like that's only a small part of the whole
Yeah.
documentary, but you basically find out how corporations kind of cap how you can sue them, and it like how it trickles to all these other things. It's unbelievable. It's such a great thing. But and then you find, because when I heard about the lady who like spilled and she was like suing, like it's hot coffee, like you're gonna spill it yourself. But that was just a small part. Like you got to watch it, man. It's awesome.
All right.
Hot coffee, man. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. Both are, I think, on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with suing the company for hot coffee, but
You don't
Please
ever,
don't.
No,
Casey
you gotta
never
watch it, man.
believes with suing the company. In case
No,
you
no,
guys
you have
didn't
to
know.
watch it.
It's nothing to do with if a company does something negligent, right? Something
They did.
wrong. But if I order coffee, I expect it to be hot.
I know, but that wasn't it. But
Hey,
she
hey,
didn't. She didn't.
That was too hot.
yeah.
That,
Actually,
that was Seinfeld.
Which
Now-
is
That
true.
was Seinfeld.
But,
That was-
but she
that
did.
was Seinfeld.
She didn't put the lid on properly. But what ended up happening, the reason why she's suing is because for her medical bills, because she got 3rd-degree burns, so she had to take skin grafts and put her on her legs to cover. So basically, that was, and then maybe like $1 million that she was even going to take in.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you spill coffee on yourself, you can make $5 million. Would you do it or no? And in the States, lawyers come to you. Remember that. That's the one thing. And here, you'd have to go to a lawyer. Maybe you have a case. Maybe, perhaps you get to court.
Celinos and Barnes.
Here, they do it for free, right? They come to you. They'll call you. They'll do it for free. All you got to do is say yes and sign a couple papers, and they'll go get your money for you. Would you do it?
I'm going to be honest with you. Of course I'll do it.
Like, thank you.
I'm going to get free money.
Thank you. That's it.
Right?
That's
But is it
Free
right?
money's the best money.
Is
But it right?
The answer is
And
no. It is not right. But will you do it? The answer is yes every time, and that's the end.
You can't turn down $5 million.
No, you
Anyone
can't.
who says they wouldn't,
As a
they're a
liar,
better person than me.
is a
But you need to
liar.
watch that documentary, and that whole story about that would change your whole mind.
But you were gonna say a point
Sorry.
though, Casey, about suing. Or do you forget what you were gonna say?
No, I just think that some things are common sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have hot coffee and you get it from the drive-thru of your store, right? You shouldn't put it in between your legs while you're driving, right? I think that is a common sense thing, and I do not think if I was the person who owned that coffee store, I don't think I should be sued because someone decided to put their hot coffee between their legs while they were driving.
That was not the case.
Let's say it was.
Sake of the argument.
I don't think.
Yeah.
We're at this point now in the States, Smite, you're right,
Yeah.
where you could sue for anything.
It's
And
kinda
people do sue for anything, right? And at the end of the day, it's just a scheme by the lawyers because they get paid no matter what happens,
Yep.
right? That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's real.
You're probably right.
Is that also your?
And going back to that Seinfeld joke, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Right.
What
Exactly.
was that lawyer's name in Seinfeld? He was the best.
Who told you to put the bomb on? I didn't tell you to put the bomb on. Who told you to put the bomb on?
I love
Was
it.
it was Johnny Carson? Right? We're not Johnny.
Is it Jackie?
Jackie-
Jackie something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Someone's screaming at us right now. Do you have a recommender, Warren? Casey?
Actually, we were talking about it earlier. I recommend that everyone go watch a movie that they would really enjoy in the VIP theaters they have spotted throughout the city. If you really love movies. I really love movies, and I really enjoy watching them there. Right? A Warren, I can't think of anything right now.
It's just all sunshine and butterflies for you, isn't it?
You know what? I'm an optimist.
Nice.
Right? I'm a happy person. Always positive. These guys are laughing at me.
Now, the VIP thing I do subscribe to because I just don't like sitting with the...
I don't watch movies any other way. To be honest, with you. It's way better
Yeah,
this
man.
way.
First time I got my taste of it, I was like, I ain't going back.
I don't think I
back.
have gone back.
No.
There's a lot of space when you're sitting. The chairs are comfortable, right? Most of the time when you go to the movies, you go out to get food. You can get the food right in the theater.
Summersby's, chicken fingers, and popcorn.
Yep. Prices are the same as your Montana
was-
or wherever you're going.
I was listening to a podcast, and again, we live in Toronto, so we have VIP theaters pretty accessible.
Everywhere.
I was listening to a podcast, and they don't in Nashville, they don't have VIP theaters.
It's poor
In
people in
Nashville.
Nashville. What do they do all day?
They don't have VIP theaters. Like it was a wonder to them. Like they're hoping they come to their towns. Like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Imagine you're sitting beside someone, their elbows are touching yours, and you don't even know who they are. That's so weird.
But I know what you mean with the VIP. Like me and you, Casey, went to see Black Panther. What was it, 2 weeks ago or something like that?
Yep.
And the mission we went to go see this because we didn't want to go not to VIP.
Oh, I'll give you my warning now. 3D movies.
Oh.
We have to stop going to watch these movies,
And they'll stop making.
So
and
they
then
stop
they'll
making
stop forcing us to go watch them.
Because either you go to VIP now or you go to 3D. That's basically what they want.
And they do it on purpose. They have one 2D showing at like 3 in the afternoon.
Yes.
And then the rest are 3D where you have to pay an extra $5. It's not the money, but I hate wearing those 3D glasses.
That's why
Most
I
of the
don't
time, the movie's not in 3D anyway.
Yep.
It's just a couple scenes. Anyway,
If that.
that's my rant.
If that. That wasn't a very good rant. Come on, you could.
And then if you're not at the
You
right
hate on- you
angle,
hate
the
on
3D
IMAX,
gets
man.
all weird.
No,
It's weird.
not IMAX. I saw Dunkirk in IMAX. That movie was incredible. Right? 3D is a completely different beast. That's just
Are
garbage.
most here in most
I'd second that. I
3D
hate 3D.
IMAX theaters?
No.
No.
They could play it in 3D, but Dunkirk wasn't in 3D.
Yeah, but
It was
the
just
IMAX is more about the sound and the speaker and the screen.
It's the whole image, but the actual projectors are from IMAX.
But
I'm telling
you
you
have
right
to
now.
remember, most of these movies are made. They're not made in 3D. They just add certain scenes after the fact.
Yeah.
Like Avatar, that was a different one. That was actually made in 3D, and that was an incredible movie based on the 3D.
I would have called
The
it
movie
incredible.
itself sucked. Right?
Here's a,
That movie sucked.
I would
right?
call it The Last Samurai with blue
But
people.
that visual, you have to admit, that was a beautiful movie.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
100%.
Look good.
do you
It's
know?
cute.
Do you know what camera they used for that movie?
A red
A
camera?
3D camera.
An IMAX 3D camera.
What's your point? I'm not arguing with you.
You're right, Benny. You are right. You win, Benny.
Canadian product, man. Canadian product from
It
Toronto.
is true. It is Canadian, so you gotta support that.
And James Cameron, that's all he does. He goes to the Toronto facility all the time.
Oh yeah, probably. Now he's gonna come up with like
What has he done lately?
Is he making
three more avatars.
Another Avatar, right? When's that coming out?
what has
cares?
What has
Yeah.
he done lately?
No, he's just
He's making money, man.
Did you do Star Wars
No,
or Star Trek? I mean, sorry,
no,
No.
that was J.J. Abrams.
he's done nothing.
God, I hate J.J. Abrams. Anyway, let's not get into that.
All right.
Man, we're gonna get a lot off Casey's chest right now.
Right?
Tell us how you feel. Tell us how you feel.
The new Michael Bay. I'm gonna leave it at that.
So
No, the new Michael Bay is Michael Bay.
The new Michael Bay. Michael Bay.
So sports.
Why? Robert Ford?
Why not? Why not? That's what we're here for.
Well, I suppose. Or we can just keep talking.
I
movies.
suppose.
So the NCAA tournaments, we're down to the final four. We got Loyola, who's 11 seed, who's the Cinderella, I guess, of the tournament. Michigan, the 3rd seed, they're facing off against each other. So one of the Cinderellas must go. And we got Villanova and Kansas, 1 seeds on the other side. Casey, Benny, are you guys watching the tournament? You guys paying attention to anything?
Both looking on the phone.
I won't lie. No, I'm really not watching it this
Not
year.
watching it. Not
Why
watching
not?
It one game.
Why not?
Uh-huh.
I have no real excuse. This year, I just think I just had no real desire to watch it.
Is it name recognition?
No, it's not name recognition. I just think I'll watch the
final game.
the games in April, right?
Yeah.
But the games leading up to it,
No.
I have no desire to watch it. I love basketball, and I think college ball is great. But for me, I'll watch the games in April, Final Four, Sweet 16.
Now Smythe has a theory about this because we all used to watch college basketball.
I used to, yeah.
Yeah, in high school we all used to watch it because that's when the Fat Five and all kind of stuff happens. Now, has the one and done? Do you think has it ruined it for you, Benny? Has it?
No, you know what? When it comes to me in NCAA, it's more like I like watching like that first weekend, whatever I can try and watch.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder now, but I like to watch the beginning part, and then I don't watch it until the Final Four. I
Yeah,
sort of miss
well,
everything else in between.
Yeah, is it the name recognition though? Like if you had a team that,
Yeah.
if you had some guys that were there for 3-4 years, some guys you watched growing up, do you think you'd be more invested?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of weak, but I think next year's going to be hot because you got R.J. Barrett, you got Zion Williams, you got all those kids coming up going to Duke. Duke next year's going to be wild, man. But again, they're going to be the new Fab Five.
Yeah, but again, it's going to be one and done, right? They're only there for a year, if that.
So what happens when the one and done is gone?
They go to the NBA.
No, I mean what happens to college sports?
Doesn't matter, man.
I
People
was-
are betting college sports. That's the whole thing.
Actually,
What happens to college sports? Because not everyone can go. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not everyone can go. So there'll always be students to go there. You were gonna say something, Smith? You weren't.
so might be the best players. No, I was saying to the point. You're exactly right. You're saying Darius Bazley, 9th ranked recruit in the 2018 class, decommits from Syracuse to report to the G League. So this kid's skipping college basically to go straight to the pros.
Wait, you can do that?
I guess so because he's doing it. I didn't know this was even possible, but the NBA was looking into ways they can connect with these kids. This kid is going straight to the G League, skipping the college process altogether because he's saying, I wanted to play professional basketball, and this is professional basketball. So he's get the only way possible. And it's better that he learns the NBA system right away instead of going to college, learning one system, than going to the NBA and having to relearn.
How old is this kid?
This kid's in high school.
But
That's-
can't you be 21 to play?
Oh, yeah, there's an age restriction.
There's
in
age
the
restriction.
NBA.
There's an age
That's dumb.
restriction
Are you
on
dumb?
the NBA, not the G League.
I know it's what I mean, but why?
That's still the NBA.
You'd make more money playing in college, getting all the side bets than he would getting that, than he would getting the G League, and he can't come up.
No. Would he get more money in college?
Yeah,
How so?
All the money you're making
all
on
the money off
table.
the side under the table. Reggie Bush,
All the money the
Reggie
teams are
Bush.
paying you.
After,
Like a Reggie Bush.
after the recent stuff the FBI found,
Yeah, they
on all
probably
the
can't do
schools,
that
I'm
anyway.
sure they're watching that
These
stuff.
kids are
crazy
driving
now.
Maseratis and Land Rovers, and they say it's donations
loan or whatever they call
or
it.
some stuff. Come
But
on,
all
man.
I'm saying is that this is the first kid that's done it. I've heard no one decommitting from the school to go play in the NBA.
Because
in the
it
G League.
was illegal. You can't do that.
No, you cannot.
He pulled the Leandro
You
Ball,
cannot
right?
enter the
No, Leandro Ball went
NBA
to
draft.
Europe,
So
same
this kid is not draft eligible this year. Okay.
Okay.
He can play for a G League team, and then after his 1 year of G League professional basketball, be eligible for the draft and be draft eligible. This is what I understand. I'm not even sure if that's true or not. I'm just saying that's
Makes
what I
sense,
understand. it
because
as.
they go play in Europe. So what's
Right.
the difference?
Yeah.
So they
Like-
said, kids.
but Europe at least pays. That's
Yeah.
the thing, right? G League, you don't get anything, man.
G League pays.
No, but he's
Well,
got
only guys
no.
NBA contracts guys get paid.
No.
But,
But
but
what's
the
everyone's
money's
paid.
You get paid.
I know you get paid,
Yeah.
but it's like
You are going to
it's
get
garbage.
experience with the NBA system
Yeah.
and the NBA teams, and the G League guys. They sometimes play with the NBA affiliates if the cities are close enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
So-
If the
Nine oh
affiliates are
five.
close
I'm
enough.
going to
Around.
assume he's not eligible to get called up to the NBA. I'm going to assume that, and he has to play the full year in the G League. But
Couple
it
years, man.
is
No, just
one,
1 year.
year. It's the
1
same
year.
as going to
How old
college.
is he now? 19.
He's leaving high school.
Yeah.
And he
18.
committed to Syracuse. So he said he was going to Syracuse.
Right.
So now he says, I'm not going to go to Syracuse. I'm going to go to the G League.
Okay, yeah, but he's 18.
You have to be 20.
You have to be
playing
21, man.
21
you
playing
don't.
NBA?
Yeah,
no,
you
it's
do.
20.
No.
It's-
No, you do not.
Why did this come up? Why did
No, in
it
the NBA. In the NBA.
NBA.
In the NBA.
When do you finish high school?
NBA, you
High
do
school,
not
you
need to
finish
be
at 17.
21. You need to be 19.
I think it's
Okay,
19.
it's
you
19.
draft
There's age
it.
restriction.
19,
Yeah,
okay.
there's
Point-
an age
you
restriction.
gotta
Yeah.
play
I thought,
one
I thought
year.
they were going to push it up.
You got to play 1 year of college, okay? Or 1 year not in the NBA. So some kids go to Europe, whatever. This kid's going right to the source. Is that the future of these top prospects?
I've always said they should be doing this.
Yeah.
This is my idea, guys.
This is your idea.
Basically, why don't you get drafted from high school to G League teams?
Because you do not want a bunch of scouts sitting in a high school
That's probably it.
arena.
Then
That is one of the reasons.
Well, they already are, though.
they probably are.
Well, you have a bunch of college scouts now, right?
Because then all that corruption and stuff will go down to the high schools.
Yeah,
High school. level.
I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I really don't know the answer, to be honest with you. But I know what's happening now isn't right. I mean, these kids are being
Exploited.
their names are being sold, right? And they're getting nothing from it. At the end of the day,
You know what I hate
be
about it?
fixed.
Only the kids that don't finish get nothing out of it. The kids that play their 4 years get a college education,
If that.
which is extremely expensive in America.
Huge.
And if their grades aren't good enough, they can't play. So they have to be passing. The kids now that leave after 1 year, after 2 years, yes, they're getting ripped off. But that kid that gets his degree playing basketball.
Oh, that's pretty good. But like again, I always ask how many classes Carmelo Anthony went to. And again, he's the guy who's going to leave. But ask how many classes.
Oh, he didn't care
Carmelo
about
Anthony-
class.
Those
Yeah.
courses are a joke that they.
Yeah.
but the college basketball, the majority of those students who
Yeah.
don't make it to professional sports, college sports, forget just basketball. Majority of those kids don't make it to professional sports. You're right; they get a good education. That's great. But if you're selling a jersey with my name on it, selling my likeness, I should get a cut.
And yes, the star
man.
players. And the
joke.
thing is, those
Every
players.
player. Every player.
Yeah, well, the only guy I can honestly think of that did his whole 4 years in the last little while, Tim Duncan, now Grayson Allen. Any NBA talent didn't do their 4 years. Grayson Allen is not a first round draft
Norm
pick.
Powell.
Norm Powell sucks. That's my whole point. I'm trying to get by here.
Oh, but I'm telling you, you said names.
yeah,
guys.
that's a player. But I'm like, they're not star players. Tim Duncan sold
He's
Wake
getting
Forest
paid good right
jerseys.
now, Norm Powell.
No, but I'm saying Tim Duncan sold Wake Forest jerseys out the Yin Yang and got nothing for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? His last 2 years, he was the thing in college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Those players only usually last 1 year, two tops.
I think the start of it should be, first of all, the players should have their likenesses.
Yep.
They should be able to sell the likeness. They should be able to get sign autographs. That should be at least a start. And then as far as paying these guys, super difficult. But yeah, then they got to figure
Well,
that
here's
out.
a question.
Yeah.
What if we're wrong?
What do you mean?
College sports was making still a boatload of money when players could go directly to the NBA.
Yep.
Yes, but only a certain amount we're going to search NBA.
That's the key,
Yeah.
right? I think when people are talking now, they're expecting like every single kid that goes in the draft is going to go straight from
No,
high school.
you can't.
That's
'Cause-
not going to actually happen.
No.
Right? So is it going to affect college sports?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Right? Will they miss out on that LeBron James type player? Well, they were doing it. What? How long has LeBron been in the league?
15 years.
15.
Yeah.
15
Wow,
years already,
crazy,
right?
yeah.
So he wasn't. Amir Johnson was actually the last high school
Yeah.
player. to
Yeah,
get
Amir
drafted
Johnson's
for,
last high school. And
right?
he's made a lot of money, too.
Yeah. But really and truly,
It's a small
I
percentage.
don't think we're going to see a large amount of players. But I think that's what college is afraid of.
Now, today,
I think they're afraid of sharing the money that they already have. So the guys who don't go to the NBA, because a lot of people are pushing, hey, share the money that you have. Like, give it to the players.
Yeah.
Give the money to the players. I think they don't want to lose that. That's what they're scared of.
But they were still making a lot of money.
Back
so even
then.
if they didn't have that marquee name,
Yeah.
marquee name,
They're
goes
still- the
to
money's still gonna get
NBA,
there. Yeah,
they're
not
still
where-
making
yeah.
their money.
tournament's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Tournament's still going to happen. Their brackets are still going to happen, and ESPN and
Whoever,
TBS
yeah.
and whomever is still going to pay.
yeah.
But
however much money.
I
to
think
draft it.
we live in a landscape now where if you have 30 top prospects, more than half of them will choose not to go to college.
Yeah.
Because now they can go play in the G League. They can go play in Europe. They can go play. Like, if those ball kids make the NBA, was it LaMelo? I don't know, whatever his name is. If he gets drafted this year to the NBA and they
no,
found out that you can
He's
just
not getting drafted.
you can just go over there and you can just come here anyways, a lot more kids will not go to college. Will you still have stars? Of course you will. But you're going to see more stuff like this year's tournament where the number one seeds are getting knocked off by 16s, upsets up and down the ranks because you don't have the superstar kids playing anymore.
I don't know how much like that LeAngelo route, like the balls the kids are doing. I don't think that's going to happen because that's open for players right now. They can do that all they want, and
Right.
they don't do it.
But
Like
how many
Jennings,
It's a little different.
yeah, it
They're
is.
rich.
Jennings, yeah.
How many more
But
agents
Jennings went there.
up there
Jennings
would come
went there.
down, though? How many agents would come and call high school kids and say, hey, come play a year in Europe?
No,
Come
they
spend
don't
2
because
years."
that's always been an option. They can do that right now if they want to.
No, but
it's
I'm
always
saying,
been an option.
once these kids know it's a viable option to get to the NBA,
But
how
Jennings
many more
did it.
kids would do it?
Jennings already did that.
A
No,
lot
no,
of
no,
kids.
no,
A
no,
lot
no,
of
no.
kids. It's hard.
They don't wanna
for a
go
kid-
there.
It's hard for a kid to move to a different state
Yeah.
to go.
Let
to
alone
college.
go
Or to a
across the
different
pond.
country to a language you don't know.
Austin
to
Matthews
a culture
did
you
that
don't
too.
know. Right? It's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah. A lot of players don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. Now, the G League seems more. If you can tell a top prospect, "Hey, come to the G League, stay in the
better.
G League for a year or two," maybe then they'll do that.
But
Yeah.
do you think? Okay, if a college says if you decide you want to go to the G League or go to Europe and then you get cut, you're not allowed to come back to college.
That's also kind of. I don't like that either.
But I think that's the rules.
It is rules.
That is the rule. It's
So,
retarded.
well, kids will have to take that into consideration.
Yes,
Well,
and that's probably why they don't do it anyway.
a
Now.
lot of the kids that do it are good enough that they're going to go anyways. Like this kid that decommitted from Syracuse, that kid's an NBA player, okay? And a lot of kids know from by the time they're in the McDonald's high school All-American game, there's a 90% chance you're getting drafted, whether it's next year or the year after.
That's true.
So you make 50 to whatever they pay you in the G League for that year, or you don't. And you have to hope that some guy pays you under the table $100,000 and buys you a Lamborghini. Like that stuff is sketchy. This isn't. The G League isn't a sketchy option. So I need money for my family because these kids aren't rich, right? They're not all Grant Hill. Grant Hill could have played in the G League all he wanted to. These kids need money,
Yeah.
right?
It's an honorable move, but I don't know. What are you getting exposed to? Like college, you're gonna get exposed to
a lot of things.
a lot better personally.
You're
Like
only
Ben,
playing for a
like
year.
well, think about Ben Simmons. He could have stayed in Australia and played basketball, but he came over here to LSU. And then when he got here, he's like, "This is a waste of my time."
Yeah.
He didn't even want to play. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's gonna be a mass exodus of kids
Yeah, neither
not
do I.
shoot. Yeah,
Neither do I.
it's not gonna happen unless they want to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
And what people tell them is go to college. That's the easiest path to go to the NBA. That's what you do. That's what they're being told. Now, unless the NBA changes rules, because it's not a college rule, it's an NBA rule.
Yep.
That they have to go to college.
Well, the NBA is changing the rule clearly because they let that kid go straight.
See, I don't know what that is.
That's
So I
a
have to read that about that. I don't know
Yeah,
what that is.
that's a change
but
already.
Anyway,
But it looks like they will change the rules. The players are definitely for it.
Adam
The
Silver's
students?
Adam Silver's been a
Well, the NBA players,
Oh,
the
the-
union
yeah.
is definitely for it, and the league.
Adam Silver's
based
been
on
talking about it.
everything
Yeah.
Adam Silver's been saying, that rule is going away.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see what happens, and I think in a year or two we will see what happens.
I mean, there'll still be a tournament.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the
Yeah,
number one thing.
But football drives that.
Nothing will change. They'll still be. They'll
Well,
still
that
play basketball.
The NCAA tournament makes
Yeah.
billions of dollars. Like it's huge.
Yeah, and it's not going away.
No. It will never go away. Even if the G League, even if the NBA did open up, it's never going to go away.
And one thing we got to remember: Americans and their schools,
Allegiance-
they support
allegiance,
their
yeah.
schools.
I know, it's crazy,
It's-
man.
It's incredible.
All right, let's move on to some NBA talk. So I thought we would just go through all the playoffs are pretty much set.
They are not pretty much.
They're pretty much set. There's a bit of jumbling here and there going
There's
on.
two
up and
spots
down.
You
available.
would say they're set.
The only one I would say is maybe Detroit. Maybe can get in.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like 1 through 8 is pretty much set. Maybe Charlotte can get in. Maybe.
The East is done.
No, the East is done. I agree.
Clippers. I don't think they have a chance either.
No.
Maybe a small chance. Like they're mathematically they're still in, but I don't think they
Clippers
can get in.
in Denver,
Maybe.
Utah, Minnesota.
But I'm just gonna go through the 1 through 8 threes. Just, see how this goes. So we'll start off with the East.
Yay!
Number 1 in the East, the Toronto Raptors, the hometown team.
Hooray.
Casey, what do you see as their chances? Are you down on them? Up on them?
After the last few games, I'm not happy how they're playing.
Oh my
I'll tell you that
god!
much.
Are you one of those guys?
I'm one of those guys. You don't barely
one of
beat the
those
New
guys.
Jersey Nets, right? Let Lou
It ha-
Williams go off and destroy you.
It happened ever since. It seemed to have happened. Like the Raptors seem to have digressed, and it seemed to have happened. Started when they lost to the Cavs.
The Raptors are not the Golden State Warriors. They cannot decide to take the end of the year off, right, and then just pick it up when the playoffs start.
can't
We,
do
we
it.
have not proven that we could do that.
They have the same record as the Golden State Warriors.
What does that
Yeah,
mean?
but Golden State Warriors got
What does
championships,
that mean?
got league MVPs.
Just saying.
Do you
I'm
think-
just
do you
saying
think
that
the
they got a
Rap-
championship and they got a league
Do you
MVP.
think the Raptors can turn it on just like that?
I think the Raptors are as advertised.
Which is
The best team in the Eastern Conference.
They are the best team in
Over
the Eastern
75
Conference.
games.
by record.
So if they lose a couple games, they have some tight ones. Who cares? They're winning. It doesn't matter. They lost to the Clippers. That's disappointing. So what? So what? They're in the stretch. The season's almost over. They're
They
going
may
to the
play
playoffs
Milwaukee.
healthy. So they're going to kill Milwaukee.
No, come on.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yo, hold on. They might even play. Washington's been dropping like crazy,
Or
man.
they'll beat
Are you
Washington.
worried about Washington? They're dropping.
No,
like-
no, no.
I'm not worried about Washington.
No, but
Washington, Miami, I ain't worried about.
no. I'm not saying Washington, but I'm saying Washington might even drop to 8th, man.
Yeah, they could.
At this rate.
They're 2 games away. Now, are you afraid of the Pacers if they play the Pacers in the first round?
Hold on a
Wow,
sec. We're-
wow,
hang on,
wow,
hold on,
wow,
hold on a
that
sec.
wouldn't happen.
Hold on a sec. You're drumming all over the place. But yeah, it's not gonna happen. The Pacers would have to fall crazy.
Yeah.
So one of the strengths of probably the Raptors team is probably their bench. Who would you say is the most? Who would you say is the best player off the bench, Benny?
Van Fleet
Van Fleet.
and Poto. Well, and Siakam. Well, it's hard, man.
Okay.
Say one.
Okay.
Give me one.
Honestly,
Thanks for coming out, Benny.
it's Van Fleet. Van Fleet
Van Fleet for you?
is the MVP, and then like the cool guys that like Poto, kind of like he's like the far starter of the team.
The fire starter.
The far starter of the bench, man, because he's always the igniter, man. All the big plays you notice, if it's not Van Fleet like hitting the 3, like it's Poto blocking somebody.
Yeah.
Obviously gets dunked on every once here in the world, but like he honestly those two guys and
good.
CJ Miles, of course. But
You just named the whole bench.
okay, Van Fleet.
So
Van
Van
Fleet.
Fleet for you. Wells would probably also agree with you. Who do you think, Smythe?
I think
Who's-
Siakam's the main guy off the bench for the Raptors. He can defend all the spots. He's now
Mm-hmm.
shooting the ball well. He's up and down the court quickly. He's very hard to match up against, and that's the problem they have.
He has handles too.
Well, yeah. Well, he's starting to do. Like the reason why the Raptors lost to the Clippers is because Van Fleet couldn't check Lou Williams, and no one switched. It's just you need height to guard Lou Williams because he just leans and shoots over you, and that's going to be a problem going into the playoffs. Van Fleet's a great player, but on the defensive end, there's only so much he can do. So, like if it's Chris Paul, he can defend him well because Chris Paul's not a height involved player, but the matchups you're going to be getting in these playoffs. It's going to be hard for him to be on the floor in clutch minutes. That's how I feel about it. Great shooter, great playmaker.
Yeah. Who's your guy off the bench, Casey?
Yeah, but why Siakam?
Why Siakam?
Yeah.
He has the size. He has the speed. He can knock down shots. Now he can pass the basketball. He's a tough matchup. So at the 4, there's not much you can really do to stop him. If you're out 3-point line, if you don't get out there fast, you're not on a 3. If you do get out there, he drives right around you. He can also defend between the 2 and the 4, no problem. Probably not big enough to guard a lot of the centers in the East, but 2 to 4, masterful defense. He was checking LeBron James when Cleveland was in town. He had him contained, not contained well, obviously.
Well,
He did
LeBron, like he had him, like he was bodying him a couple times.
He did a better job than OG
Then LeBron
did.
basically turned on him.
OG's a problem, man.
Yeah, then well, he's young. OG's
a
young.
rookie.
Yeah,
Rookie
and
ball.
then LeBron basically schooled him. But whatever. Who's your guy off the bench, Casey?
I don't think you really argue against Van Vliet.
Yeah.
None of you guys seem to mention Wright. I think DeLon Wright's
I like
a
him.
very good player,
Yeah.
right? He could defend at the point guard spot, probably the 1 and the 2 spot.
His length makes him
He
a
could
problem.
shoot. His
Yeah.
length is crazy. He
Yeah.
has handles. Doesn't turn over the ball too much. It's funny, like Benny mentioned the entire team, the entire bench, and I think you're right. Like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, this bench is good as a unit, right? There isn't a best player. You put that guy, Van Vliet's not going to take over a game on his own. Like
But he has though. he
No,
has.
No,
He
but
has though.
the bench has put him. The entire bench, the way that unit plays, is what gives those guys the ability, Van Vliet, to always be open in that corner. I don't know how he's always open in that corner.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. He's a knockdown shooter.
That tells you how good that bench is. They play really well. The entire team plays really well
Yeah,
together, right? I'm not down on the Raptors. It's just I want them to finish the season strong.
Yeah, same here.
Now you
What
said
about you? What about you, Nash?
I would say Miles. Because
Yes, he's an X factor, man.
Yeah, he comes in and he fits in the starting lineup, and the 3 is very, very important for this team. It opens it up for DeRozan and all that kind of stuff. But you mentioned OG is a problem. The reason they don't want to take OG out of the starting lineup is because it messes up that second unit.
Absolutely.
So that's why they don't want to take him out. He's young, and I see upside for him. His offense is not that great, and he does get schooled by like guys like LeBron, who doesn't get schooled by LeBron.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying. With
He's
that.
hurt. That knee's sore after 75 games. That's really
Yeah, he's
what
not
it
used
comes
to
down to. He's not playing well. Now, my question
No
to
one
you guys.
mentioned Powell.
I said Powell.
No,
Powell.
Why did
He's
no
the
one
other
mention
starter.
Powell?
He's the other starter, man.
God, that guy looks sad. Every time I see him,
He's angry, man.
Remember what I
Angry.
said? Whenever Van Vliet hits a 3, Powell just gets angrier and angrier. It is hilarious.
I'm gonna get traded.
I'm telling the audience. Watch Powell's face when Van Vliet hits a big shot. Everyone else is cheering, and he's just going through the motions.
He took my germ.
He's like clapping with a sad face.
Yeah. My question about the Raptors is: in the playoffs, starters play 40 minutes. They short their benches. Can the Raptors play 10 deep in the playoffs? Do they have to play 10 deep in the playoffs?
You can. They can change things up. It's sort of how like Houston, for the longest time, come NBA playoffs, it was like, a lot of D, barely any offense. And then a couple of years ago, Golden State and Houston just totally changed that format. And they're like, the defense doesn't matter anymore, man. It's how many points you score, right? And that's how it changed. So it's very possible that the Raptors are doing a new trend. So they got a new trend with like developing the players at 905 and bringing them in, coming in as a complete unit. So I don't know. It's you start to see some of the things some teams started doing. Like I saw that Cavs and Raps game, how they totally started almost like their bench players in the start of the half to take on their starters, and then they did the flip. Then they had the starters play like the Cavs starters played against the second unit. So you will see, man. It'll be interesting. I think obviously the deep team. So like really, it's I only think it's only the Cavs, man, bench. That
They don't even have a bench. They don't have.
Yeah, but they're the only team. Like you take a look at the whole East. They're the only ones who are good. Unless like Boston's like developing their bench players right now with their.
But they got so many hurts to their starters.
I don't know, man.
Boston is playing their bench right now.
Yeah, but they're winning, man.
Yeah, they're up.
They're winning.
I think they have to play all 10. I think it's been successful for them the entire year. Why change it?
Because every other team changes it.
Doesn't mean you have to.
But doesn't mean you have to. I think the only thing that may go wrong is that how many of these guys have actually been on that big stage?
Yeah.
Most of them actually.
Well, they won the G League championship. So
Well,
they're-
that's the
they're
G League
champions in their own
championship.
right.
I don't think that's
Siakam-
the same. I don't
Siakam-
think that's not the same thing as going up
But
against.
I'm not gonna
Siakam
count
and
that
Poto,
as the
they
same
barely
as the big
played.
stage.
Yeah, they were there.
But they played. But they were there.
yeah,
But being on the court
it's different.
on the big stage is different, right?
Van Fleet's
So-
been in the Final Four. He's been there.
The Final Four.
It's Final Four though.
But he's with the team
It's
last year.
big games are big
He's with
games.
the team last
you're
year. He
right.
played times.
But my thing is that though the rest of the league is shorting their bench.
Doesn't
The
mean
rest
you
of the
have-
league,
They have to.
okay, but they're playing their best players more minutes because that's what you do in the playoffs. It's a proven formula. Everyone does it. The Raptors, their strength is in their second unit. But can you give the second unit the same amount of time when you know the other teams are playing their starters?
I think the deeper they go into playoffs, the less you're going to see at the bench. That's what I think is going to happen. I think in the first round, the bench will play, and then you'll see less and less.
As it
You'll
goes.
see who will emerge.
So when the major matchups come, like
Yeah.
when the Cavs come to town, they're going to
The
short their
bench
bench.
plays a not completely different style, but
They do.
it's a
No, they
different
do.
style
They
of
do play a different
basketball.
style. They do.
I think that's one of the biggest things we need to look at as well. I mean, the bench runs in guns.
Yeah.
Like they're constantly dunking on people, right? And they're running up the court. They have endless energy. I think that's a bonus, and I don't see why you would take that on in playoffs.
I think you have two step check. One is you do play your bench unit and you run those starters in the ground in a longer series, game 6, game 7. The other teams have legs.
Exactly.
The other end is they run and they don't score and they dig a bigger hole, and the Raptors shoot themselves out of games with an inexperienced bench coming in and just messing shots. So it's
We have to wait and see.
No, but
we
hold
have
on.
to wait and see how they step up on the big stage. I understand some of them have played in Final Fours, or someone even mentioned the G League Championship, which I'm sure not that many people watched. But
The Raptors 905
Siakam
won.
MVP, man.
The Raptors 905 won that last year.
But I mean, I think we have to wait and see how they respond to it, right? Like, I mean, you have had players like Kyrie Irving. Remember his first game in Toronto, the playoff game? He admitted the reason they lost that game is because they did not expect that kind of atmosphere.
yeah.
Right? So, and that's Kyrie Irving. So, it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, but also don't forget, people are forgetting that Coach Casey has been introducing the bench players to the starters ever since like the All-Star break. If you notice, some guys have been
He's
mixing
moving-
in and
he's
out.
moving lines up,
He's been moving the lines for those specific situations when you get in the playoffs. Even against the Cavs when they were like did that little bit of a comeback. You know, when Cavs were coming back and Toronto's doing the thing, they still had that mixed match of starters and bench players. Obviously, OG was crapped the bed and a couple of things happened here and there, but. And the issue right now with the Raptors' the weakest links are Ibaka and OG.
Whoa.
Ibaka step up.
Ibaka's playing fine.
No, excuse me.
What do you want from this?
Terrible, man.
What do you want?
Terrible.
What do you want from him?
Terrible, man. Terrible.
What do you want from him?
Terrible.
He's blocking
Hit his
shots.
shots.
More
Hit his
threes.
shots.
More
Hit his
threes.
shots.
More defensive, being smart in defensive possessions where he's just like terrible, man.
He's blocking shots and shooting
Blocking
threes. What do you want from
No,
him?
man. No, he's not. He's missing a lot of shots.
He's missing a lot of shots.
He's
What-
not
what
a
are
good.
his stats?
He's not a good
What are his stats?
3-point shooter. What do you want him to shoot from the
He came
line?
in
no,
with
his
three-point
career,
shooter.
career is like, but
Do you want him to shoot 40%? Because that's not who he is.
40%. I would take 40% from that guy. That's a great percentage.
And- no,
Steph
no,
Curry
no,
shoots
stop.
40%. What
Yeah.
do you want him to shoot?
in the last 10 games, he has been missing shots. But but
More than last night. He's been brutal, man.
yeah, he's been brutal the last couple of shots. But
been
anyway,
brutal.
so as it sits right now, they would play Milwaukee.
They play Milwaukee. First
I-
round.
And you guys
I'm-
are, and you're
I'm
scared.
okay with
And you're scared of Milwaukee? No. Yes, Casey. No.
Out of the bottom 3 teams in the East, Milwaukee's the best out of the 3.
Are you insane?
I think Miami,
Are
man.
you
I
insane?
think Miami's the best team.
Out of the bottom 3, it's Miami, 100%.
Miami,
Nope.
man.
Not when it comes to a matchup against the Raptors.
And you know why?
No.
Why did they have a hard
Go.
team? Oh, sorry. I beg
No,
your
go,
pardon.
go, go.
You know why do you think they had a hard time last year with Milwaukee?
Length.
Okay, who's been playing a lot and who's tall? That's on the bench, Poto and Siakam. They're both like almost 7 feet tall, and that's what they like last
the
year.
other 3.
Yeah, but I'm saying those two last year, Coach Keeks never played them, right? Barely played those two guys. And well, actually Siakam started for a bit, but they're 2 tall guys. They're getting enough minutes, they're getting enough looks, they're getting better. They will be there when Thon Maker. Obviously, you can't stop Giannis. You can't whatever. He's gonna do his thing. But everyone else that you lacked on length.
They don't switch. They don't switch at all. And the switching is what if they switched on defense, I would maybe agree with you because their length
What
would.
are the Raptors' records? They're 1-1, I think, with Milwaukee. No. They lost 1 game to Milwaukee.
Yeah, but they won the rest. I think they won the series.
2-1.
I'll see if I can find
And they
it.
got one more game against
Yeah,
them.
go ahead. I'll see if I can find it.
Miami, I'm pretty sure we beat.
That's the hardest one, man. That's gonna
No,
go 7 games no matter
Yeah,
what.
because me thinking
I
about
don't-
They're
I
so
don't-
gritty,
I
man.
don't think so. I don't think.
Yo,
I think we
they're
will.
tied the series right now, man.
I think we'll kill Miami in a 7
I
game.
think
No.
we'll kill Miami.
No, we won't.
Washington depends, but Milwaukee, I think out of those bottom 3 teams. And you guys are going on like I'm crazy. Like there's a huge difference between the bottom 3 teams and the regular teams.
I know,
half a game.
but we all know the Raptors are the playoffs, man. And like the thing is you know what's helped DeRozan is getting his he's getting his 3-pointers. But like when those guys, like historically, both Lowry and DeRozan have always crapped the bet, especially game 1 in the playoffs.
I was going to bring that up. Now, the Raptors' history. That doesn't scare you? I know it doesn't scare
Yes.
you, Smythe. Does it scare you, Casey?
No, they're a different team.
You think it's
They're
completely
playing a
different?
different offense.
Now, if it gets tight in the first game, you don't think DeRozan
It is gonna get tight in the first game.
DeRozan and Lowry will see ghosts? And
No, these guys don't panic anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think
But you have admitted that right now they're playing like,
Timestamp.
They're not
That's
playing
10:06. They're not going to panic. anymore.
they want the season to end now,
yeah.
right? Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan,
Do you think it's
they want the playoffs to start now. They're tired of playing basketball, regular season basketball. And that's what concerns me because they're turning it off, like I said.
Yeah.
And my fear is you go up against a team like Milwaukee, who's technically still fighting for their playoff lives.
Yeah.
Well, not fighting for it, but they're fighting for their position.
Yeah.
They're fighting to not play the Raptors in the first round.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you think they'd rather play Boston?
Yeah.
If I was any team in the
I'd
bottom,
rather
I'd
play
rather
Boston
play
or
Boston.
rather play Cleveland than play the Raptors.
You want to add your 2 cents
Really?
to the ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to add your 2 cents to the ghosts of the Raptors?
To what? It's just a totally different team. They play a totally different offense. The ball is supposed to move. Everyone's supposed to shoot the ball. You're not depending on Lowry DeRozan top of the key screens. They run that play once every 5 possessions.
Not late in games. They run it all the time.
No,
which
late in
bothers me.
games they give the ball to DeRozan. Let him do what he
Which
wants.
bothers me. Because
But-
Cleveland, I saw Cleveland key. We were watching the game.
Yeah,
we saw
they
Cleveland
went
key
doubles
on
on
it.
him. This is
and
what
it was just.
This is what other
That's
teams do.
NBA.
They give the ball to their
Every
best
NBA
player
does
and they hope he creates
Well,
baskets.
my point in Casey, they go away from something that works and then they go back. Then they
But maybe an
regress back.
NBA team that doesn't, if it's a
Well,
last
yeah,
play,
yeah,
it always
I guess.
goes to the king.
They give the ball
Goes
to
to
the they give the
Kevin
ball to their
Durant,
star player, and
right?
that's
Like, that's the
that
way
is
it
how
is.
it happens. But this team is they dedicated the entire season, 82 games, to not being that team from last year that depended on 2 guys. Okay, so now you have on the starting lineup for the Raptors, how many guys will not shoot the open 3 if they get it? Right, the only guy who will not shoot open 3 if he gets is Lucas Nogueira and Jakob Poeltl. That's a 12-man roster. Any other
Lucas Nogueira
person-
hits threes, bud.
I think he shot less than 5 all season. But
Oh,
okay.
okay.
maybe he does. What I'm saying is that you now have a bunch of guys. If the shot's open, they take it. The other night we saw Valanciunas go to the basket and dunk on someone to go into overtime. They are not dependent on 1 or 2 players anymore because they knew that was their weakest last pass. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yep, and I love how you touched on Valanciunas because that man is
He's trying hard, man. Oh.
That my favorite Raptor right now.
He is playing great, and if the Raptors want to beat Milwaukee
You
and
got to
Miami,
feed him the ball, man.
He's on the
feed
court.
Valanciunas because
Yep.
frankly, I can't think of a center better than him in the East.
Nogueira's taking 4 shots all year.
4 threes.
4 threes all year.
But you know what? One thing, just
Yeah,
one
go.
last part. I really like their schedule right now. I know most people are like, "Oh, I can't believe but they're gearing themselves up." I know they took a time off. There was a bit of
gotta
a
play Boston
null on
twice,
their
huh?
head because they had OKC. That was when they were in the win streak and stuff. But they took Cleveland, they lost, and then you had Brooklyn, Clippers and Denver, and now you got Boston, Cleveland, Boston. Those and Cleveland and Boston are 2 back-to-back games, man.
Yeah.
Especially the 3rd and the 4th, April 3rd and 4th. But they're gonna be going hard and the hard.
Hopefully.
Well, the Raptors might not.
They're gonna
even,
gear up, man.
They might be resting guys at that time.
All right. Boston. So we got Horford's out. Marcus Morris is out. Irving's out. I don't even know if he's going to be.
He's not back for the first round.
I don't even know if he's back. Smart's out. All these guys are hurt.
And they still won last night.
And they've
They're on a
won 5 in
5-game
row.
win streak.
They've won 5 in a row. What do you see their chances, Smythe?
That's a great basketball team.
Still.
They're going to draw the Miami Heat, and they're going to have serious problems getting out of the first round. Now,
Oh wait! You just finished saying they're a good basketball team.
they're a great basketball team because with all those guys hurt, Rozier's playing career basketball. Tatum's playing career basketball. Tatum's almost taking control of the team like he's the star of this team. This kid's a rookie. So
Yeah.
this team has tremendous upside. You still have Hayward coming back from injury, which now where do you slot this guy? They're going to have amazingly great problems going ahead because these young guys have gotten so much time that they're developing into great players. Now,
I don't trust rookies in the playoffs. I don't trust rookies in the playoffs.
And it's hard to trust rookies in the playoffs, but there's some rookies that are great in the playoffs.
Like who?
Magic Johnson.
Didn't they call him Tragic Magic in the first?
That's what they did until he won the championship. Anyway, my point being is they'll be in tough this year, but the future is super bright for Boston.
100%.
If they get into the second round, Cleveland's in trouble.
Which I think they're going to be. No, I think they're going to have a hard time getting to the second round. I don't know if you guys agree, man.
Yeah, they're in tight.
I
they're in
agree
tough.
with you completely. I think they'll have a really difficult time. They're banged up. Right? It's not that
Yeah.
they're a bad team. They're just banged up.
Yeah, I even think it come to the end of the stretch of the year, they might get tired and just might wean out, man.
Like
They
Tatum,
played a lot of basketball,
yeah,
man.
I like Tatum. Tatum's a good player. He will be good, like going forward. Like he's going to be a good player. A lot of things I don't like they do. Like he's a big body. I don't know why they don't post him up a little bit more, but whatever. Just the amount of injuries. Like Kyrie Irving was a lot of their scoring, and he's not going to come back 100%. Like next year, hey, watch out for this team because at full strength they're going to be crazy, but they're going to have a real hard time because right now, if they face off against Miami, like we all know Miami knows how to play and they win. Milwaukee,
They play and they win.
they do. They play hard and they're coached up and they know how to win. Milwaukee, ugh, they could probably beat Milwaukee.
Yo, I was just looking at this, man. Yo, Detroit's on a 4 or 5 game win streak.
I don't think they're gonna make it in though. Still,
But Milwaukee's 5-5 last 10 games. Mm-hmm. Detroit 6-4 on a 5-game win streak, and then they got Knicks. The Knicks to me are like Drake and God's plan, just like giving away draft picks. Like they're just terrible. They got Knicks, Brooklyn, Philly's gonna be a hard game. They got Dallas, Memphis, and then Toronto and Chicago.
There's not enough games left.
yeah, no.
I don't know, man.
Because what you're saying is a dream scenario. So
only
they
7
have to
games
win.
left.
Yeah, they have to win. Plus every other team has to lose.
Yeah.
There's not enough games. Yeah, Casey's right. There's not enough games for them.
They're five and a half
games.
games back.
Yeah.
4.5
4.5.
games back. I mean,
I know.
there's just. I would like to see Detroit.
That would be crazy.
'Cause
Why?
Real reason.
What that team you wanna see?
I've never been a Blake Griffin fan. I've always compared him to the Vince Carter when he scored his 20 points and decided to take the rest of the night off.
Yeah, I got my 20. I'm done.
Right? He's a great talent, incredible basketball player, but he still doesn't have a real post game. It's like Dwight Howard, actually.
No, he's not. Dwight Howard went to the finals. Blake Griffin will never go.
Hedo Turkoglu took them to the finals.
Right?
Ball.
We've been having this argument since that
Beginning
final.
of time. I feel really bad for Blake Griffin because he used to live in California. Now lives in Detroit.
He's fine.
But
He has minutes.
I'm sure he still has his house there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has minutes. But
they
anyway,
don't,
let's.
they don't belong in the playoffs.
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
fine. They're not gonna make it. Cavaliers. Cavaliers. I don't even know.
They have LeBron James.
I don't even know where to
LeBron.
start. So
That's
you
all
think
you need to
you
say.
think just that? Now, did you watch the Heat game last night? Or was it last night or 2 nights ago?
I
watch that game?
didn't watch all of it, but yeah, I did watch some. Yeah.
So the Miami Heat basically set up a wall. So the way that they're defending him is basically so he couldn't drive to the basket. So they're forcing him to pass other people, so he couldn't drive to the basket, and they got beat by 20, 19 or something like that.
Yeah, but
It was like 8, but like it was a good game.
I think that's the key because personally, I don't believe in. I like Kevin Love on the Cavs. He's the second banana. He's not at the caliber of Irving.
He left the game early.
He's not at the caliber of Bosch. He's not at the caliber of Wade. And now he left the game early. I think that's more resting, blah, blah, blah.
No, he got his tooth knocked out. If he was
Yeah,
still in
he
the
got it.
game,
He
they
got
would have
it.
killed
Yeah, so
him.
not talking about
Yeah.
He's under concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Well,
not
he'll
playing
be back.
tonight.
He'll be back. So,
damn, they should
you,
have the Cavs there.
you know. I'm saying, Benny. You know how concussions work in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Walk it off, bro. Safety. What's that? I'll never forget Stephen A. Smith was like, because remember when Cam got concussed and they were like, oh, take him out of the playoffs. And the next day, Stephen A. Smith was like yelling, and it's like, this is the playoffs. What are you doing taking him out? Yo, you play him, man. You play him. I was like, you know, there's like protocol now, right? I don't care. It's the playoffs.
You know, I hate Stephen A. Smith, but I agree. It's the playoffs, man.
These
You
kids
only
will
get-
drop down dead.
only
Yo,
get
get
one
out. It's the
chance.
playoffs.
Hey, a lot of guys play with
I think it
concussions.
should be the player's choice.
Yeah, but if your state of mind is not there,
They're always
you're
going to say
take
yes,
it.
though, Casey. They're
Yeah.
always going to say yes.
So telling a drunk guy
their
to
choice.
drive home.
How many
Sure,
times?
I'm telling a drunk driver to
How
drive
many
home.
times
That's
does
it.
Steve
I
Young
can
take
make
a
it. I'm not having
snap
enough to
while
drink.
fully concussed?
What'd you say?
How many times does Steve Young take a snap fully concussed in his
Probably
career?
lots of times.
He said
Probably
he's had
tons of times.
Thank
said
you.
he's blanked out a bunch of times.
Listen, I agree. You gotta.
Protect them from themselves.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope. I do not think you should be able to tell players
They can't play.
they can't play. That's all I think. That's all I'm saying.
If his eyes glaze over, you probably
I
take him out.
understand why the rule exists,
You just don't agree with it.
and I think it's a. I understand why it exists.
If they were your players,
You would tell them to play. If you were the owner, you tell them to play.
If it was my players, I'd tell them to play. If
'Cause
it
I'm
was
paying
my-
you.
If it was my brother or my son,
I'd tell them not to play.
And I understand the hypocrisy of what I'm saying.
that's what it is. Though.
That's fair. That's fair.
But if I want my team to win,
But I think if you keep back to the Cavs, I think if you keep LeBron out of it and force the other guys to make plays, that team can be had. There's no Kyrie Irving on that team anymore.
Yeah. Well, if Kevin Love was there, it's a different case.
Yeah,
I don't-
you
I
should
don't
shut
think
down
Kevin
Kevin Love. Then there.
No, I don't even think you have to shut down Kevin Love that much. You can keep one guy on it.
do you honestly believe you could shut down LeBron James 4 games in a row just by putting?
Well,
a
he
wall
did it,
for him?
and we did.
No, they did
They
one
did
night.
it one game.
I know they didn't win it.
The best of 7 series, I don't think.
But the difference in the past was there was other guys.
yeah.
There were other guys.
Listen, I'm not saying the Cleveland Cavaliers are better than they were in the past. They're not. But LeBron James is still the best player in the world.
Here's the thing. That team from last year is short one dude. Kyrie Irving. And their place, they have
Sure,
Jordan
short a lot of
Clarkson.
guys because J.R. Smith is not playing the way he was.
Yeah, not playing the way he was. Kyle Korver is still there. Tristan Thompson is still there.
They could
J.R.
turn
Smith's
it
still
on.
there.
Tristan
Right.
Thompson can turn it on. You looked at me with a straight face and said Tristan Thompson can turn it on.
I was referring to J.R. Smith
Yeah.
and Kyle Korver.
That $19 million Tristan Thompson's making, if he gets that 10 points and 10 rebounds. But what I'm
Yo,
saying
Tristan
is,
Thompson's checked out. Like, he's done. He's a Kardashian. He's in LA right now.
you have the core of that team. You replace the old garbage that they got at the start of the season. Remember when they had Darren Williams?
You mean LeBron's picks?
Darren Williams, Dwayne Wade,
Was it LeBron
Andrew
picks?
Bogut played for a bit.
I
Right?
remember Andrew Bogut.
Okay, so you replace them with Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood, Lance Jr., and
And Hill, who's not playing very well.
now Hill's playing
None
fine.
of those guys are starters.
Hill's playing
None
fine.
of those guys are starters.
Every Jordan Clarkson
They're
and
starters
Lance
on that
didn't
team.
start
LeBron
The other
James
two guys
took Matthew Dellavedova
to the NBA Finals.
and won 2 games.
Thank you. You can take these young guys to the finals and win games.
Name me another player on that Cleveland team that Matthew Dellavedova
The
was
East
on.
was a lot easier to
Andrew
get. through.
Bogut.
lot.
Andrew Bogut.
Not anymore, man.
Go, Benny. Benny, go.
Sorry, the East was a lot easier before. Not anymore. Okay, let's say Cleveland makes past the first round. They beat Washington.
Which I think they can.
What they think? You know, then they're gonna get like, let's say Philadelphia's hot. They're done.
Well-
Philadelphia will beat them.
Philadelphia is playing the
Philadelphia's
Raptors the second round. So let's get that aside.
Actually, shit. Sorry, you're right.
They're going to
My
play
bad.
Boston. They're going to play banged up Boston,
Boston.
in the second
My bad,
round.
sorry.
And that team's fully beatable. LeBron James in the playoff also, different guy. Playoff LeBron James might score 50. Playoff LeBron James might dish 20 assists. Playoff LeBron James might not let DeRozan score more than 12 points. These are
He's
things.
not guarding DeRozan the whole game.
Playoff LeBron James is what we saw when he dropped 32-17 with 0 turnovers. Right?
He counted for 81 points, I think.
Yep.
Against the Raptors. Yo, people love scoring against the Raptors.
No,
he
but-
counted for
no,
81 points.
He
Yeah,
woke
during
up
that game.
for
yeah.
that game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my point. LeBron James, he's been how many finals is this from?
8
in
in
a
a
row?
row, man.
No, 7. I think. 7.
This dude doesn't care about the regular season.
I know.
He even said it. He says, "I don't care if we finish 8th."
My beef is not against LeBron. It's not against LeBron. I told you. You concentrate on LeBron, make those other guys play. My beef is not against LeBron.
But that's never
This
what-
team is the equivalent of his, was it 2008?
No.
Yes, that
No.
2008 team
It's
that
the
he
same
dragged to
guys
the
that were
finals
there last year.
and lost to the. No, this team is not as good, Smythe. It's not.
The
You don't have
players-
Kyrie Irving.
The players
second
aren't
best.
playing as well. They're Kyrie Irving short. I get that. But they have youth that can play hard, that hasn't been there before, and that'll make up. Does LeBron have to play harder? Yes.
You're making it seem like Kyrie.
no.
You're making it seem like Kyrie Irving was Darren Williams.
No, it's
Like,
not.
it's a big-
It's not the same team. Their second best player was Mo Williams. Okay, like no disrespect to Mo Williams, but
That was a lot of disrespect to my
That was a lot of disrespect to Williams,
That was a lot of
and
disrespect.
that's quite all right.
and Damon Jones
Yeah.
was like one of their best players too.
So
It's not the same team.
Larry Nance Jr. is going to the Hall of Fame.
But Larry Nance Jr.
Kevin
is
Love
not.
is a
He's
great
not
player.
playing in the
He
playoffs.
is.
And J.R. Smith, for all his faults,
He's
when
not.
he
Come
did,
on.
what,
No.
all it takes is one game where he just drops.
Actually, it
30.
takes 4. Actually, it takes 4.
My point is all it takes. He
He has to just steal you one game.
Exactly.
Because J.R. Smith is a game stealer. There's
he
times
has
when he's
done it.
ice cold, and there's times where he hits 9 threes.
Yeah, and you can't
then-
stop him.
Yeah, it's game over. You can't do anything. But all I'm
You
saying,
gotta win 3 series. So.
I
4
know,
series. To win
but
the
who are the
championship.
series against?
The Raptors that who you were saying is great.
Washington's beatable. Boston's
Yeah,
beatable.
Washington.
Toronto is the toughest team they're going to face. And
And
LeBron
Boston.
James owns us. As much as we hate to say it, that guy owns us. We hate him. Remember last year in the playoffs, what did we say? If I had LeBron James, I'd win too. Have you ever heard All-Stars say that before? I don't care what team you're on. All-Stars would never say that.
So you're
They have the best player in the world. That's why they're winning. No one's ever said that. No one else gets beat like LeBron James and says, if he was on our team, we'd also win. They defeated us. This year, we're ready for them.
Technically right.
makes you
This
sad.
year, we're ready for them. And I'll say that because we went to Cleveland and we lost. But Cleveland starts to walk all over us. And we punched them in the face to a tune of 17-point lead at halftime. We're ready. But LeBron's confidence, if he plays us, through the roof.
Sixers. How dangerous are the Sixers?
Yeah, hot.
Benny.
Hot.
Benny, how dangerous
Hot.
are the Sixers?
Like hot, scary hot.
No, this is a team that everyone keeps yelling at me and saying, "Yo, this team,
Hot.
this team." Are they making it past first round, Benny?
Yep.
Now, right now, they're slated to play
Indiana.
That's rough.
Hot.
Rough.
What
No,
a
well,
first
okay. I don't believe in it. Convince me. Someone convince me, please. Smile.
Well,
Convince me.
they won 8 in a row. Well, Embiid just broke his face.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
But they got Marco Fultz back.
Oh yes.
He's back, ain't there, right?
Yo, Markov Fultz, that killer in the playoffs, bro.
Hey man, but it's like getting a trade piece, man. At the end of the year, man, you got to give some sort of credit.
See, this is my problem with this team. They're very easy to beat.
Darius Saric,
Yeah, they're very easy to beat. Now,
Ben Simmons.
Embiid, crazy player. Him hurting his face, tough. Ben Simmons, a 6'10" point guard, 230, crazy, freight train. Stop him at the 3-point line. Don't make him drive. That's it. This team is the second worst offensively in the fourth quarters in the whole NBA.
It's because of youth, though, I think. Executions are
I
problems.
just like they will get there. Do not, because I love Simmons and he needs to get a shot because I think he's only taken 2 shots all year from the 3-point line.
Yeah, but he's practicing. He's working on
Yeah,
it. Next
he's
year, he'll
taking
start
only
shooting
2
threes.
shots.
Who cares?
This team to me is beatable. I think they're out in the first round.
Now,
100%.
I will sell you if I have to sell you on this team.
Go, sell me.
I'll sell you by saying when Embiid went out, Saric had 24 and 16.
Yep.
Okay. So this team has depth
Now you think he's gonna
inside.
do that in the playoffs?
Outside, they have JJ Redick.
Mm-hmm.
They have Simmons, and they know how to win. The playoffs are going to start, and I don't think they're going to be shaken by the lure of the playoffs, how much harder possessions
What
get.
makes you say that? They're all rookies.
Your
They've
first-
never been to the playoffs.
If your first round's against the Indiana Pacers, you're not going to fall into the lure of the playoffs. You're going to play as you play, and these kids are all destined for greatness. To say it straight, they're destined for greatness. They're not going to be shaken in the playoffs. They'll be happy it's their first run. If they get to the second round, will they give Toronto a good run?
so you don't trust
probably.
the Boston
6 games.
rookies, but you trust the Sixers rookies.
The Sixers rookies are much better. They were drafted higher. They're better players. Boston rookies are playing well, but these guys didn't come from an expectation to be good. Where 76ers have 4 or 5 players that's supposed to be great.
Agree or disagree, Casey?
and what about? Oh, sorry, Ben.
I think Indiana would win that series.
Yep.
I think you're sleeping on Indiana. They've had a great season.
Oladipo.
He's great.
Oladipo.
Indiana has quietly somehow amassed the record they have. They play great basketball.
Defensive basketball.
I mean, I don't know how we could sleep on them like that. Philadelphia is a great team, but they're not there yet, in my opinion. I think next year, especially when LeBron goes there, they're gonna be better.
That's funny.
I don't know.
No, it'll be a good series, but I still see Philadelphia winning that.
You don't see it, or you do see it?
I do see Philadelphia winning, but the only thing is that they're 18 and 19 on the road, man. They don't have a pretty good. They're away record sucks.
Yeah, it's a sign of a young team.
Yes.
You.
Sucks.
That is you.
Sucks. But I know it'd be interesting to see how it all lays out. But Indiana's the Oladipo, man, which is kind of funny because it makes you think that they traded for Ibaka. Most people forget about that. But no, Indiana's great, man. They got some gritty players.
Question to the room. I know the answer in this room, but I'm just gonna ask it anyway. You trade DeRozan and Oladipo, switch teams. Would the Raptors have the same record? Casey?
No.
They'd be worse.
They'd be worse.
Yeah.
Now,
I second that.
Now Oladipo and DeRozan have very similar numbers, and Oladipo's a better defender.
Yeah.
Now take away the chemistry and stuff like that. Just take away strictly from a basketball point of view. Do you think they'd be worse still, Benny?
Yeah, I think they'd be worse off.
By like how much? By like they're second, third, they're eighth.
It's you know what it's.
They're very close.
No, but the
together.
question
Like,
is,
they're very
there's
close.
also chemistry in teams,
Yeah, I know,
man.
I know,
so
I know. It's tough
and
to say
that's
these
that's
things.
the way I'm looking at it. Because that stuff takes time, right? How well would he gel with like Lowry and stuff? But I don't know, man. That's a really I never
Yeah, it's tough, 'cause
I never looked at the stats like between one and the other, but they play two different style of basketball.
Well, Victor Oladipo's way better defensively, way better defensively. But as far as scoring and all that, they're very similar. PRs pretty much identical. Like everything's pretty much identical. What do you think, Smythe?
I think they're pretty much the same kind of player. DeRozan is just more dominant offensively. And they score around at the same rates. DeRozan just has the ball in his hands more. Focuses more of the... Like, DeRozan creates for other people by being the focus on offense.
He's learned that now. Like,
Yeah.
he's got
And
it.
Oladipo is more so, like, he gets his sort of thing. But he's, like... Oladipo is a guy who will knock down 5 threes in a row. Like, he's a streaky shooter, a very tough guard. And DeRozan's a constant just pressure. So, I think DeRozan's a better pace for the Raptors only because the Raptors sometimes need someone who's the pressure pace scoring, whereas Oladipo can get hot and drop 35 and the next game scores 12. So,
Like Lowry.
yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Since Oladipo's really transformed, which says a lot about Westbrook. We'll get into that a little later. Washington. Anyone want to say anything about Washington?
Yeah, nothing to say about that.
No,
To be honest, if John Wall comes back for the playoffs, to make the team better or worse. There's a lot going on in Washington that we don't talk about. They've been playing without Wall for this whole time. This run of them being in the playoffs is without John Wall.
A lot of people in the States are like big up on Washington. Like they think they're supposed to be the third best team in the West.
They like them.
I don't know why. Like in the States, they had Cleveland, Boston, Washington, and Milwaukee, and then Raptors somewhere
Yeah,
down
so
there.
why do you think they do that, though?
Obviously, it's because it's south of the border.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are screaming about
No,
Washington
that's
should be good.
that's not it. I don't agree with that.
What do you think, man?
I don't agree with they thought Toronto was that bad because we're north of the border. I think the way we flame out in the playoffs kind
That's-
of did
yeah, that's
that,
probably-
and
that's
we
probably-
brought back the exact same team that flamed out in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So I think that had more to do with it. than
Probably.
anything.
You're probably right.
Well, Toronto just doesn't get the respect.
But
they've earned.
But yeah, back to Washington. I've never believed in Washington. I never saw it.
Washington's going to be a better team with John Wall. I mean, John Wall is a great player.
Do you think they should go forward with these guys? Like in the future?
Remember this team?
Beal and
I don't think Beal and John Wall will work because one, they don't like each other. Right?
So there's that.
Right? So there's no chemistry, and basketball, you need chemistry.
Do you remember this Wizards team took Boston to 7 last year? So when we say we don't believe
last
in
year's
them,
Boston though.
Yeah.
Boston team should not have been the number 1 seed.
just doesn't matter. They're 1 game away from the conference finals last year.
Last year's Boston.
I get it, but I'm saying this is a good basketball team.
It's not a good basketball team.
That Boston team was not. It was a good basketball team, but
Defensively.
it was not a.
It's not
They
what
were
they
not a
yeah.
contender.
They had the easy road to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, they were not a contender.
I
The
don't know.
fact that Isaiah Thomas is what we see now,
And he's out now.
right? He's
Oh,
out again.
come on, that's not fair.
That is fair.
He was hurt. What do you want from a hurt player?
What are you talking about? This year?
Isaiah Thomas was hurt.
He was never that good, man. It
Isaiah
was
Thomas
one
was
lucky
never that-
year. He's never that good.
Wow.
He's not that good. How many teams has he been on and off?
All right.
It was one lucky year on a team perfectly built for him.
He's a streaky shooter. That was.
Who can't play defense.
He doesn't play defense.
Who believes he's much better than he actually is.
Oh, he is
and
who
it
he
has
is.
actually tanked what money he will get in the offseason.
Well,
His
he-
attitude.
He had a terrible 12 months. His sister died.
Take that out of it.
He
Take
hurt
that out
his
of
hip.
it. Take that out of it. Okay.
Why? That mentally takes toll on you. He hurt his
But
hip.
he still performed in playoffs. So what are you talking about?
Did he?
Yes.
Because
he still performed.
I'm pretty sure he came back for Game 6 and won that one, Game 7. He got injured in the first game of the conference finals.
Wasn't he was standing beside Aldridge every game, basically with tears in his eyes, and you're like, "How are you doing this? How are you doing this?" He still performed after that.
Right.
But take that out of it.
Okay.
He was never that player,
Then he gets traded to Cleveland.
and that tells you something. Boston said,
Oh, they're
"We
not
don't
paying
want
him.
you.
Yeah, they're not
We
paying
don't
him.
want
No,
you."
and that's very rightfully so. Then he comes back and has played with LeBron James on that team that sucked before he got back. He's supposed to make that team better. Obviously not possible. Shipped to the Lakers, and then injures his hip. That's a rough 12 months.
Shipped to the Lakers, says, I ain't coming off no bench.
I put the
like that,
attitude
by the
aside.
way.
I put the attitude aside. He had a rough 12 months,
Whatever. I think it's all.
You're right,
feel
he
for
did.
him.
But at the same time,
but he wasn't getting that. So.
I don't, he believed he was, though.
Yeah.
And he honestly believed he deserved it.
Yeah, that's
Miami. Do I have to say anything about Miami?
we already talked about it.
Yeah, Bam playing very well. Like every time that Whiteside goes up, Bam plays.
Miami always plays well.
Yeah,
You know what their
Their
X
coach,
factor
man.
is?
Their coach.
James Johnson's their X factor. We don't talk about James
Yes.
Johnson enough.
Their whole
That-
bench are
yes.
besides
James
the Raptors.
Johnson's the
Besides
man.
the Raptors, they probably have the second best bench in the league. I think
Probably.
they're coached up, man. Remember when everyone didn't care about Spoelstra and they're like, "Oh, this guy can't coach. This guy can't coach."
Supposed was coached them to the 7th record. He's not a good coach.
I defended that guy from the beginning.
Yeah, who cares?
From the very beginning, Casey. Don't look at me that way. From the very beginning, I said this guy can coach.
You're saying he's a good coach because he made the playoffs. That's not a like.
He's a good coach now. Is he not a good coach?
No,
What are you talking about?
They're
Look,
se-
who's on their team?
they're in 7th. Hassan Whiteside's an all-star.
Hassan Whiteside's an all-star.
Is
How many all-star games, Amy?
one. Dwayne Wade's a Hall of Famer. James Johnson, Goran Dragic was an all-star this year. They have a good basketball.
Because
team.
people got injured. That's why he's an all-star.
They have a good basketball team, and they're in 7th. If he was a good coach, they'd be in 2nd. That's what I'm saying.
Miami is not a. They do not have a ton of talent.
No.
No, they don't have a ton of big
They're
names.
gritty, man. They're
They're
gritty
gritty.
team.
They're coached up.
But that's the sign of a well-coached team.
This guy's telling me the corpse of Dwayne Wade's gonna is pushing up across the finish
Hall
line.
of Famer.
Like he's Undertaker.
Let's move on to the West. Rockets.
Yeah, you didn't no love for Milwaukee?
Nah.
We talked about Milwaukee several times. What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
Nothing, man. Milwaukee.
Go Milwaukee.
Oh, and by the way, shout out to LeBron James for you. All right, Wellesley?
Let's mention LeBron James 5 more times.
LeBron
He loves
James.
that. He loves
LeBron
that.
James. LeBron James.
Rockets.
21.
A show of hands. Who believes in the Rockets in the beginning of the season?
Only one hand. You, Nash.
You know what I hate is that no one can verify whether what you're
It's
saying
on.
is true or
See,
not.
this is the beauty of this podcast now, Casey.
It's at
You can go back and actually listen to what I said. That's the beauty of it. I have all my opinions recorded now. So now
I don't remember you saying
Now
the
you
Rockets
know.
were going to be this good.
I
real, man.
can attest. He did say that, and I didn't think it better than Golden State, but he said they'd be in 2nd, which is just as good for me. Whatever. How do you feel about the Rockets now?
Oh, I was dead wrong. I thought that they traded away their defense. I thought that Chris Paul wouldn't mesh with James Harden and the Mike D'Antoni offense. Everything I thought was wrong. And
completely off.
I will fully admit that.
No.
I admit it. That team is incredible.
Mike D'Antoni, that's coaching.
Now that's a coach.
That's a coach.
Is your coach either?
I would.
I give it to Dwayne Casey.
Here's the thing. It would be great to give it to Dwayne Casey, but you should probably give it to Mike D'Antoni.
Didn't Mike D'Antoni win it last year?
He could have won it last year too, but he's
might have.
been
Yeah.
Didn't he win it last year?
He might have. Anyway, go ahead. Go on, I'll look it up.
he's even better this year. That's all I gotta say. And he made it work, and he's got these guys believing in a system that he brought to the NBA 20 years ago.
And no one could replicate that.
That's right. I am wowed.
That's crazy, man. I'm looking at these figures and stats.
Brad Stevenson won last year.
There you go.
Like,
Boston's coach.
I can't. They went on that crazy win streak. Lost like maybe one,
They're
two.
on another win streak. They're in 10 wins.
10 again.
10 again.
They don't
That's-
lose. It's hard to beat them.
And that's what I wanted from the Raptors. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
No. You're right. No. It's okay.
Now, fully loaded, when they have all their players on the court, they've only lost twice. Once to the Raptors, and that was 3 games in 4 nights. and once to the Pelicans when they had Cousins.
Well, we beat the Rockets both times.
Both games. Yeah,
But they were fully loaded.
That was our first loss.
When they don't have any, because they didn't have Caspi, I think it was. When they don't no, Capella. Capella,
Hey.
not Caspi.
Hey,
I'm glad you said that.
Hey, it counts. No, Capella
Caspi,
played.
but like-
Capella played the second game. Caspi didn't play the second game.
No, Capella, yeah. When they're fully loaded and they don't, Capella, what? I'm telling you,
I'm
God,
not-
he's one of the keys to their sport.
I'm not saying they're not.
He is.
But
He's
He's
their
one of
offense.
their keys,
He's
man.
the offense.
But when they're fully loaded, they don't lose.
Very hard team to beat.
But
They
can
don't-
they beat a healthy Golden State? And let's be real here. I don't think all these injuries that are in Golden State are actually real.
No, I don't believe so either. I don't
Yeah,
believe
but here's the thing: head to head, who has more games?
it. What do you mean?
It's 2-1 Rockets. Head to head.
You're talking about
Yeah, regular season doesn't matter for those teams. So.
You know what? They steal the ball. They obviously have the best 3-point shooting in the game. Free throw percentage are up there. Steals, they're 5th in the league. I'm looking at some of these stats.
Are you gonna read the whole stat sheet?
No. I'm just looking at it, but everything else, they're like below, like or below.
Anyway, let me ask you a question. That shot that Harden takes, Casey, is that travel?
Yeah, man.
The travel is a foul. Everything that guy does is illegal. But I mean, that's today's NBA. They
it's
change the
true.
rules based on the
Yeah, it's
best
true.
players.
Do you know what he stopped doing? Remember that time he drive and put his hands out so someone fouled him?
Yeah.
Got rid of that.
I think they changed the rules.
Because
that's
they,
why.
because they
changed the
start
rules.
calling. They
Yeah, they
stopped
changed the
calling
rules.
it.
And now he just makes every shot when he goes to the basket. He is phenomenal.
He's big enough. Now the thing is, they switch him. Have you know, like on defense, he's still a horrible defender because they put him on like power forwards and centers and stuff like that. They're actually hiding him. But offensively, this guy. If they went up against Golden State, can they beat them?
Yeah.
If
7
they
game
went up
series?
against Golden State, a fully loaded Golden State, can
Yes.
they beat them?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to double down and say yes.
Are you forgetting who is on Golden State?
I might be.
KD and Steph, man.
And I might change this during another podcast, but yes. I just don't. The way Golden State's playing, and again, they might be bored. Everything
Not might.
everything points to they're bored. I don't see that fight in them anymore. Like Draymond Green used to be that dog of that team, that guy. They jump on my back. I'm taking you guys there. I don't see that from him anymore.
In the regular season.
In the regular season, and it could be just regular season, but before you see that in the regular season. And again, these guys, like you said, they might be bored. That Curry injury might be real. That's the only one I think that
that's
might
real.
be real. That's like
JaVale McGee.
That's sad, bro. And he looked like he was gonna cry. I felt for him. I really did.
JaVale
JaVale
McGee.
McGee or Steph Curry?
No, I felt for JaVale McGee.
The reason Steph Curry got hurt, people, is JaVale McGee fell on his leg.
By accident.
By accident.
It wasn't on
His own
purpose,
teammate.
But JaVale McGee is like, poor guy.
Hurt the MVP.
Could they beat a fully loaded Warriors team, Benny?
I don't think so, man.
No?
It's still Steph and KD. Unless Steph Curry's hurt, then
Where's where the matchup goes wrong for you? You
The
got
Warriors.
Curry, Chris Paul, right? Then you got Harden, Klay Thompson. Then you got Durant and Ariza. Then who starts at the 4 for this team?
Well-
Ryan Anderson starts for the Houston Rockets.
you got Anderson, Joe Johnson, Mubuta Umbate, whatever the guy's name is.
Joe Johnson doesn't
Yeah.
start.
No, but I'm saying like you're talking about. I'm looking at the bench, man.
Yeah,
I'm looking at starters.
He's on the bench
I'm looking at the
in
bench.
case they don't have enough firepower.
Anyway, finish your point.
Joe
Finish
Johnson
your point.
gets
Finish
in.
your point.
Ah, man, it's really gonna come down to the bench to an extent. Like if all the starters are like kicking and everything as well, it's really gonna come down to the bench, man. Some of the little stuff in the game. I don't know, like who's gonna get more defensive rebounds if that's gonna happen.
Defensive rebounds.
I don't know, man. Like
These teams miss the least. We'll just say it.
yeah,
I'll
but
just say
but
that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but
Yeah.
when you do miss, and if you can't.
It's sheer firepower.
Yeah,
against
but
sheer
you're looking
firepower.
at the little things, man, and that's what's going to change the game. It's the little things. When you have two great teams, you always find the littlest weakness. So if it's either the bench players or one of the stats that you suck at,
I think it's
is you're going to get
who
exposed.
makes-
you're going to get exposed in
Who
that.
makes more shots? That's what this series is gonna go down to. You can't stop things.
all make shots.
I know, but if you keep making shots and everything's balanced, then it's going to be the weakest things you suck at that you're going to be exposed to, and people are going to take advantage.
Golden State has 4 All-Stars.
What?
Legitimate All-Stars.
Yeah, legitimate All-Stars. But what can Warriors exploit off the Rockets, do you think?
And that's why you guys are making fun because I was looking at the stats because I was trying to see.
They're not very good at offensive rebounding when the shot is from the left side of the court.
No. Like rebounds are 17th in the league. Offensive rebounds 22nd. Assists are 24th.
You talking about, sorry, who are you talking about?
This is the Rockets, big important.
This is the best team in the league.
I know.
All right.
But that's what I look at, man. Like if they're gonna get all boarded, they're not doing anything. Where like they're coming in, just jumping over and getting these boards, and those momentums happen, man. Because like the NBA's league momentum, man. It's like all you do well, you do well. But that's the way I take a look at it, just from the raw goods. But you take up people's weaknesses, and a 7-game series, it's a massive hole, man. Bigger than a black hole.
Smythe? No.
I think the series comes down to two high-powered teams. One team's gonna be less high-powered, and that team's gonna lose. That's like we can say Golden State's a better defensive team than Houston, but we knew that going in, right? We can also say Houston shoots and makes more threes than Golden State, which is insane, but here we are. But that's the way the crackers crumble. There's not a mismatch on the court that I think is going to be exposed by anybody. I don't think Draymond Green is so good that he like blanks out anything that Ryan Anderson or PJ Tucker are going to do. I don't think Draymond Green is that great of a player with Kevin Durant on this team now. I think Draymond Green now turns into a role player, whereas before he was a focus of the team because he had to do a lot to win. Now
he still does a lot defensively, and he grabs rebounds and all that kind of stuff.
Now you just have Kevin Durant. If you're down by 4, you just get the ball to Kevin Durant.
And he is a big facilitator on their team too. So, but it is like as far as the raw scoring is concerned, a lot of people like
they let him do it now because you don't need him to do it.
Yeah, but the key thing too is like the Rockets are like the Raptors. They don't like no one has confidence in them come the playoffs. They never step up.
The two guys. Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, do the ghosts of Harden and Chris Paul come up again, Casey? Like, Chris Paul, I think is a little bit understated because the Clippers had a lot of injuries. But you know, people are gonna say it. People are gonna talk about it. But
I say,
do they bother?
No. It's funny that the narrative isn't the same.
No, it isn't.
For the Raptors and the Rockets.
Yeah.
Because you're right, the Rockets have, not the Rockets, but the two stars on the Rockets have had the same failures. The difference, I think, is that Lowry and DeRozan at times disappeared. Chris Paul and James Harden were just overwhelmed. Their teams were just not good enough to beat Golden State.
No.
Right?
Well, that last year's Rocket teams, it's been written that during the playoffs, like Harden would look around, like he's coming up the court, and you look around, and he's like, nobody's helping me.
That's what I mean. The team wasn't good enough.
Nobody's helping me. And he just got defeated.
And Chris Paul had Blake Griffin. I mean,
your favorite dude.
Right? Who's a good player, but
yeah, he's Blake. Yeah,
and JJ Redick and DeAndre Jordan. He had great teams. He just lost because he's not a winner. He's a loser. That's all.
Ouch.
And injuries too.
That was worse than what I said about Blake Griffin.
To be honest, I think that Chris Paul, as great as he is, when he is combated with other players that are at his level, he is not the guy that rises to the occasion.
He starts thinking about going on the banana boat.
Yeah, right? And I think he's okay to check out. There was one Game 7 where he beat the Spurs by himself, and I'll give him that one basketball game, but the other 12 years he's been in this league, he has never risen to the occasion.
You wouldn't say the teams he faced were just simply better?
No. What that Clippers team is as good as any team in this league. I don't.
There was one year there was one year, I can't remember what year it was. There was one year
when they were dunking on everybody.
When the earlier Rockets, they were a good team.
The Rockets or the Clippers?
The Clippers.
I would take.
It was an earlier Washington. I can't remember what year it was.
The Clippers have never been a good
DeAndre Jordan.
The Clippers have never been a great team.
Blake Griffin, JJ Redick, and Chris Paul would be enough to beat any team in this league. It should be good enough.
No, it's not.
It's not because they don't.
They
don't.
You are giving way too much credit to Blake Griffin.
Okay.
And possibly
his stint in Detroit kind of proves the type of player he is.
No, Detroit sucks. You can't. But come on.
Yet he made them worse.
No, they sucked. They traded too much to get him. They traded away. That was not a good trade.
But
the Clippers won that trade.
Of course they did. Because the Clippers realized we can't win with this guy.
Yeah.
They realized once Chris Paul left, gee, this guy's actually not a leader. He is actually not a great player.
But he doesn't have to be your leader or a great player. You had all-stars on that team as well as him. You're Chris Paul. If you have a 2010 guy
you can't do it by yourself.
And a 10-20 guy, because that's what he had basically.
You can't do it by yourself.
And then one of the top 3-point shooters in the league, you should be able to take them to the finals, and he couldn't.
I don't know, but that's Stephen A. Smith.
He had to.
I know, but that's Stephen A. Smith. You can't do it by yourself. You need other guys to step up.
He was going up against a great team in the Golden State Warriors, who are hungry Golden State Warriors.
How many times lose the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs?
How many
twice.
times did
Was it once? I thought it was twice. Okay.
no, just once?
That's right. They didn't even get there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, like I said, I've never rated the Clippers.
They suck.
That's fine. Trailblazers. I look at this team and I go, how are they here? They had the exact same team from last year.
Damian Lillard.
How are they here? Is it just Damian Lillard? Is that it? That's
I can't
Evan
name
Turner.
I cannot name another person on that team.
You know what? I find I find the Blazers a lot like the Raptors. Actually,
really.
that's how I think the league finds like how they see DeRozan and Lillard and McCollum and Lowry.
Yeah.
That's how like that type of level of team. So they have successes and then they don't. But I don't know, they've been playing really well, man. Can I see them going to Western Conference Finals? Maybe. Could they do it? Could they do it?
The only problem is they have to beat Golden State to get there.
But hey, what's the record against Golden State this year? I don't even know.
I have no idea. I don't think that really matters though. But anyway, but yeah, they're really guard heavy. Remember when was it Michael Redd?
Yeah.
Remember when Michael Redd had that like hot 2 years, and he was like everyone thought he was like one of the best players in the league, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, Michael Redd's gonna be awesome, and then he just went back to the meme. I feel that's Damian Lillard.
Oh, are you kidding?
No,
I don't.
He's been doing it for a good 4 or 5 years now.
I don't
Since
think
the day he
this.
stepped on the court in the NBA, he's been doing it.
I don't think this Trailblazers team. I don't think this Trailblazers team in third is the actual real Trailblazers team. I think it's them for this year. Next year, if they bring back the same guys, they won't finish this high.
Now, who do you think falls off? Damian Lillard, do you think?
Possibly. I just don't like. I look at their team. I'm like, and granted, yes, he's playing unbelievable. I'm not even going to try to deny that he's playing unbelievable this year. I just don't think they're that good. I just don't. I think this year's an anomaly.
I don't know. Like, what do you need to have a good team? 3 decent players.
Yeah.
But let's look at the West.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the top 2 teams,
It's pretty much a lottery.
like
It literally is.
they're all the same. From how
3
I
to
look
9,
at it,
yeah.
from 3 to 9, they're pretty. San Antonio's just having a weird year.
Except for
right?
Oklahoma, I guess.
No, their top player isn't playing. That's not a weird year. He's not playing. Their year is fine.
What's the difference? The Spurs roster. What's the difference between them and the Hawks? Seriously, what's the difference? Aldridge? Like, I mean, how are they still winning?
Aldridge stepped up his game.
He had to.
He had a talk with Pop, and he stepped up his game.
Yo, but sometimes
anyway,
I gotta Google their roster. I'm like, who is this guy?
But back to the roster, like to the standings.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, 3 through 8.
Yes.
It's a lottery pick. Well, here's the thing.
Any team, any one of those teams.
You Lillard, McCollum, Nurkic, 3 good players. They
Nurkic's been okay this year. He wasn't what they thought he was going to be.
They started at Davis. They start Evan Turner. Evan Turner.
Davis.
Yeah, hey, that's the weak spot. But Evan Turner's a good player as well.
Evan
Been in the league
Turner's
for a
winning
long time.
in the court and outside the court too.
Oh, who's he dating?
I'll tell you guys.
Oh, come on. I think the Portland Trailblazers are a good team. They're consistent. They play great basketball. Third is not, but they're in that mix of playoff teams, which means any team from 3
I know
to
they're in
8
the mix. I'm not.
can
That's
be-
not my argument. I know they're in the mix. I just don't.
You don't know how they're in the mix?
Can they beat the Pelicans? I think that's what they're.
They can.
against.
The injury, yeah.
They can.
With DeMarcus Cousins, though?
Yeah. Can they beat the
I
Pelicans?
think they're better without Cousins.
Do you think? Sorry.
I think Toronto's better without Cousins. But
Yeah, I would trade Cousins. I would get rid of him. Actually,
They were playing pretty well with him.
wait. I've posed this before. Would you trade Beal for Cousins?
Trade who?
Beal for Cousins.
in a heartbeat.
Winning.
That's who we winning.
Go Evan Turner. See, that's why they're in third. That's all I'm saying.
Casey, would you trade
Would
Beal
I
for?
trade Beal for Cousins? Yo. Cousins would destroy the East.
I don't know why you take so long to think about this.
I think I would.
Yes or no question's gotten so many layers.
I think I would.
And
but
Beal and I think I think would do.
to be honest, I don't like either player.
You don't like Bradley Beal?
I like Bradley Beal.
I take
What
Bradley
do you
Beal.
do?
over
You
that.
do?
It's not that I don't think they're good.
Not the
players.
Raptors. I'm saying, would you put him on the Pelicans?
No.
I'll
I'll take him. I'll take him. I'll take him. No, I take him.
Yeah.
I think they're both great players. I don't think I'd trade for either of them. I think they cause problems on any team you bring them on, right? Beal has a history. Maybe it's just John Wall's fault. I don't know, right? But I'm not
they're
getting
being
along
well
with
done.
his players.
I think it's John Wall.
And,
I think he thinks he's LeBron James.
and
I think he thinks he's
That's
Russell
the-
Westbrook, and he's like, "Why don't I have a shoe deal? I should be the greatest thing ever."
oh, he has said it. And DeMarcus Cousins obviously has his issues.
They were playing well with him. They kind of seemed to figure it out.
They were
'cause it-
clinching onto a playoff spot.
Yeah, they were moving into his playoff spot.
And-
But it's funny when they left, when he got injured, then they really jumped up.
Yeah,
to the
now
playoff spot.
they're fighting for fourth. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah. But
And they did get Mirotic, so I don't know if that changes anything. But the dynamics is totally different. Anthony Davis can now just be an MVP candidate. Mirotic can just chip in with his 15 points and then sit back on the bench. Everyone else plays a role. Drew Holiday had a triple-double the other night. 4 players in the team triple-doubles because they
New
still
Orleans, I get it. Like, I understand. I just don't know if Beal was the answer. That's all.
Oh.
I think you could make a better trade than Bradley Beal.
Look, you
Because
can't.
Bradley Beal is going to want his shot.
So the answer is no.
well, you need someone to take a
I would
shot.
say
Like who
no.
else? Who else in that
Well, they
team
already
besides
have.
Drew Holiday?
New Orleans already has players that want to take that shot.
Yeah.
Right? So I would go for more serviceable players,
Mm-hmm.
like a Ariza, right? Even a Paul George. You know, someone who would actually focus on, okay, you know what? I'll just focus on the
He's
defense.
smiling over there. We're betting.
I was wanting Paul George, man, in Toronto.
Remember that was talks?
We're talking about the Pelicans. That's Toronto. Why are you
Paul
here?
George just came in
I
Toronto.
said Paul George, man. You said Paul George.
But anyway, just to end off,
No, just say no.
no, I wouldn't make that trade.
All right.
Paul George in Toronto would be great.
Hoodie Mellow, man.
Oh Jesus.
Okay,
every
speaking,
place-
of,
every
speaking
place-
of Hoodie Mello.
Speaking of Hoodie Melo, you ever notice when Melo plays, he just runs from 3-point line to 3-point line?
Yeah.
That guy is
His,
horrible.
his deterioration is rough, bro. It's hard to watch.
And he's the one who's talking to Boast, eh? Oh, we're going to make it rain
We're
come the
gonna
playoffs.
cross it,
I'm like,
sure.
get out of here, man.
You'd be like, no, he's gonna make a rain.
Yeah.
You're the reason this team is awful.
It's hard to watch my favorite player.
Would he say that?
He said we'll definitely be in the playoffs.
He said
We'll
that.
definitely be there.
No. I mean, you say that Carmelo Anthony is the reason that they're not that good.
Oh, well, no. That's not he's one of the reasons. He's one of the reasons.
Well, if you
Would you
replace him
argue-
with an actual All-Star, but can't have an All-Star everywhere, so
Can All Stars play with Russell Westbrook?
that's
No.
everyone
That's
talks
the
about.
question.
That's everyone talks about.
The whole team is not there because of
Paul
that guy.
George is having a fantastic season. I don't know if you
Defensively.
guys are looking at
Yeah,
it.
he's playing
he's
really
he's
good.
also hit the second most threes in the NBA.
But he's also happy not being the main guy for once.
Oh, he was fine being the main guy.
He wanted to be the main guy.
Yeah, he just
He
didn't.
was
Yeah, but
down
right
to
now
be
he's
the main
loving
guy.
it though,
He just
man.
didn't want to play in Indiana.
He's getting his, and he does not.
Like
He
an
doesn't
Oklahoma.
he doesn't exactly. And he doesn't
I
have to
didn't
face the
say
music.
he got traded.
He doesn't have to face the music.
Yeah, when they lose, it's
Yeah.
not on him. It's true, but he is having a fantastic
Yeah,
season.
yeah. He's
Under
my
the
defensive
table.
player of the year. Yeah, he's my defensive player of the year. What chance did you give him? What chance did you give the Thunder in the playoffs?
They play the Spurs in the first round.
They could be any team but the top two.
Pretty much.
Really, you think that highly of them, man? I think they could beat Blazers.
Mind you, I think any of these teams could be any team, except the top two.
Yeah.
So, Utah, I mean, it's been playing great basketball since the All-Star break.
Utah. Whoa,
So-
I
so
can't,
for the loss- so the
I
loss to
can't wait
Boston,
to get
man.
to Utah. I can't wait to get. Oh, forget that. Let's go to Utah right now. So
I mean, who? Santa who?
forget that. So since Gobert's gotten back, January 5th, they're 26-11 since he's gotten back. This team, if they were fully low in the beginning, might have been in the top 4. I don't think any of these top teams. Well, it's unfortunate.
They're gonna be top 3, man.
Unfortunately, they gotta face off against the Warriors or Rockets.
They could still be in the
Or-
top. No, man.
They could, because they're 42. Right now, they're 42 and 33.
They could get to 4.
They are 2 games back of fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could get to
They
4.
could.
No
They
problem.
could.
Now,
Ricky Rubio too, guy. Holy
Oh
man.
yes, he's
Resurgence,
moved right
man.
into that. He's moved right into that offense.
you know what? He belongs in a team like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm happy he found his place because I thought he was the worst NBA player of all time. Before
He
this
might be
year.
still.
Yeah.
Well-
He's just. But now, at
Oh,
least
sorry,
he's putting up-
second worst. Mike Bibby's obviously the worst,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yes,
he's
go
putting
on.
up. He's putting up damn near triple doubles every night. And
Yes, that Mike Bibby.
like Ricky
Like
Rubio's.
Jameer Nelson. Anyway, sorry, go on.
I'll say Ricky Rubio's balling out now. Like I'm seeing why they draft him as high as why they had stock in this guy.
Yo, man, don't forget this kid was like 17, 18 going up against Kobe and LeBron.
Yeah.
I know.
Running point first, like Spain. Like, yo, remember that? Oh man,
Now everyone knows my love of Rudy Gobert. I think he's probably arguably top 3 center in the league. Just defensively. If he played the whole year, he probably would have been my defensive player of the year. But the way they're, my only concern about them is in the playoffs is Donovan Mitchell. He's a rookie.
Who's lighting it up?
Who's lighting it up. But in the playoffs, when you're playing against when he's like, oh man, I see Kevin Durant across the field for me. Like, is he going to get that? Is he
Does
gonna,
that take the pressure off when you're not expected to win?
When you have no,
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, when
I
you
don't
have like, there's no pressure.
I would expect to win.
Even if you win 2 games, your fans will still cheer for you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
probably.
Well, my
The
problem.
Raptors first year.
Yep.
The problem with the Utah
Really?
Jazz is that Donovan Mitchell's a volume shooter and not a volume scorer. So he puts up a lot of shots, doesn't make a lot. He's their go-to guy. Unequivocally, he's their go-to guy. It'd be very hard to win the playoffs. I don't care who you're playing when there's less shots to take and you're expecting this poor kid to take 25 to 30 shots a game.
But they shut down everybody else, though.
Yeah, but and it's pressure they put on him. It's not his fault at all. I think he'll be a great player in this league, but that's a hard cross to bear, I think, for any rookie. So he's got them to the show, which is amazing. He'll be rookie of the year, fantastic.
I don't know if he's gotten to the show. It's probably more Rudy Gobert. But
Someone has to score the points. to
He's
win the
not.
game.
He's riding that wave because right now he's averaging like 22 points a game.
Yeah, they're making him shoot it.
Yeah.
What do you
My-
think if Gordon Hayward would start his team?
Oh, I think right. He messed up.
I don't know if he messed up because Boston next year is going to be. Yeah, watch out for Boston next year. They're probably the best team in the East.
Maybe. No, you're right. Maybe.
see.
Yeah.
I don't think he changed.
But
Boston
remember,
very much.
he went to Boston when it was Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
His team. Kyrie Irving wasn't there. Unless he knew beforehand that
No,
I
Kyrie didn't
highly
wanna get
doubt
traded.
that. So
Well, remember why he left them because he asked for a lot of money and they said no, and then that put a sour taste in his mouth.
Then he
'cause
played the next year, played great,
Yeah.
and now they're like, "We'll give you the money now," and he's like, "Oh, it's too late."
No, too late.
Here you go.
I understand that.
I respect
I
that.
respect spite.
I respect that. I respect that tenfold. I told you to pay
I
me
respect
last year,
spite. Yep.
but they're in the playoffs now without him, so it doesn't really matter.
But any of those top teams, I don't think they want to see Utah. I don't think they want to see Utah.
You
I
think
don't
Houston-
think
Houston?
Houston's scared of Utah.
Houston will blast them in 4 games.
Man, I agree with Smite.
In 4 games?
Utah can't score 110 points to win a game.
That's probably true.
It's just, and it sucks that all the effort that Utah's going to put in will go to that kind of shame. If hopefully they should finish. If they can finish 6th or 5th,
Could they beat the Blazers?
yeah.
They could beat any team 3 and down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go that far, but it'd be a better series. At
They're
least
1 game behind. Oh,
they're 2 games out of 4th right now.
yeah. Any game, any team they could beat. But any team, any of them could beat. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I
It should be
would-
interesting in West.
I could almost say
What's-
Portland probably
yeah.
has 3rd locked up.
How about the Spurs?
They're up.
So Kawhi, they can't do it.
You know what they should do? They should not make the playoffs this year. Get
Well, they're
them
going to
out.
make
It's
playoffs.
too late.
Yeah,
So
so
they're not going to get a great draft pick, no matter what they do.
Last time they did last time in the
Next
lottery,
year,
they got Tim
you want to
Duncan.
be crap. next year.
horrible team.
Next year, you want to be
The
bad.
17 win.
Yeah.
Next year's gonna be the super lottery draft.
Yeah.
I don't know what all these drafts mean, but anyway. What is going on with Kawhi?
I don't know.
No,
Man. Something's up.
didn't they say he was coming back?
Yeah.
So
no,
apparently,
something else, though.
so this is all the hoopla. We blew Wells' mind last week about this. he could wrap his mind about
Yeah, he
this.
couldn't
So what's happening is supposedly he's clear to play, but he doesn't want to play because he says he has a good reason to play. Apparently they had a players only meeting and they wanted him to play. Blah blah. Now the players have come out and said no, that was not entirely true. Whatever. Blah blah blah. So what the rumor is, his camp, basically led by his uncle, they want him out of San Antonio, and
the Midwest
apparently,
altogether.
Jordan Brand wants him to go play in LA. So that's all the rumors and hoopla surrounding him. Because shoe companies now they rule basketball.
Who cares where you play? LeBron James plays in Cleveland.
I know.
Have you been to Cleveland?
I know. But he's LeBron James, and the sporting world
Rock and roll
gravitates around him.
fan.
That's my. But my point is, it doesn't matter where you play.
Oh, it matters where you play.
No, I don't think so. I think if you are
Well, if
that
you
big of a star, it does not matter.
Well, if you
where
believe the rumors, Nike told Kevin Durant to go play in Golden State.
Kevin Durant plays in Golden State because of Nike.
Kevin Durant plays in Golden State because of Russell Westbrook.
No,
Yes.
no. I think Durant would have been glad to stay there. The money's the same.
I don't think it had to do with money. I think he truly believed he wasn't going to win with Russell Westbrook.
He probably wasn't.
And
Yeah, I truly believe that as well.
and you also got to take into consideration, Oklahoma City will not pay into the tax.
I think that's why they lost everybody.
Yep. So why would you stand a team that is not willing to? They had.
The
Do we
greatest
want to go through the
basketball
amount of
team
players that
all
team had at the same time?
It's crazy.
They had the best.
And they
drafted
let
the
them
best.
all go. because they didn't
Worse
want to
than
pay
the
the
Raptors.
tax. No, because they didn't want to.
They're the
Raptors
worst player.
always pay the tax.
That was a big thing about Harden at the beginning because they couldn't go into the tax and they chose to stay to keep
Kendrick Perkins.
They paid
Kendrick Perkins.
like $60 million.
and they had one
And they
year
let
left.
Who's
James
also on the
Harden-
Cavs? Isn't he on the Cavs roster right now? Didn't they pick
no,
up his
he's a-
contract?
He was there
No,
for
they
a
wanted
bit.
to. They didn't. They
Yeah.
didn't. They didn't. Yeah, because and they had 1 year left on Hart. That was the stupidest trade in NBA history. Like they still had 1 more year left on his deal.
So I don't blame Kevin Durant for leaving.
I said everything was set up for him to leave that team.
I
But
don't think him playing.
let's go back to-
It's not like he's making more money off the court in Golden State than he is.
Yeah, he
than
still
was
would've got
off
that
the
$300
normal.
million.
Let's be real here. 5 years ago, no one wanted to play in Golden State,
No,
No,
right? So it doesn't matter where you're playing.
Nobody wants to
It
play in
matters
Cleveland
if you're a superstar.
I think Nike said Under Armour is getting too much money over there. You need to take some of that money. You're gonna go to Golden
apparently
State.
that's a rumor. Apparently that's a
Yeah.
rumor. Yeah.
And I think Kawhi Leonard, same thing. Jordan Brand said, "Why is no one in LA? You need to go play in LA. If
Hey,
LeBron's not
Clippers
going, you have to
or
go.
Lakers?
Probably Lakers.
Lakers. That's the rumor.
Probably. Clippers are the same deal.
Who the heck
same
they gonna
place.
give up?
Is Kawhi a free agent at some
No.
point?
No, who they gonna
No,
give up for?
he still has
some-
1 more year.
He's gonna have to demand a trade.
Yeah, I think why is
Can't leave Pop.
I leave Pop.
Pop, he gone.
Of course, you would leave Pop
I leave Pop.
because Jordan Brand's giving me $300 million. See ya.
Here's a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about if Houston loses? Do you still keep Mike D'Antoni?
Yeah,
He still won't lose.
you're selling tickets all day.
What do you mean
long.
lose?
Like they
round?
First round?
for second round.
They won't lose first round.
Second round.
They won't even lose the second one.
I'm saying, what about they do?
If they
No,
do,
they don't.
You still keep Mike D'Antoni until the players. It works.
Well,
This is
Mike
not
D'Antoni,
like-
he does it for stretches and then he's gone.
Kawhi Leonard has an option in 2019.
Houston is not the Dallas Mavericks that was first seed and lost to the Golden State Warriors. That was it.
The only reason why I say that is like, say it just doesn't work. Brian Colangelo would be like, hey, D'Antoni, come play in Philadelphia.
They don't have the personnel to play that way.
Brian
They don't have the
They
Colangelo
don't
is a
shoot well.
horrible GM.
They don't shoot well enough. Well,
I said it. I said it.
he looks awesome right now.
Does he?
Does
what
he?
has he actually
What has he done?
done?
What has he done?
What has he done?
He just gets first picks, man, every team he goes to.
What has he done?
And what did he do with
The
it?
process.
That's not him. The process isn't him.
The process wasn't
That
him.
wasn't him, no.
So what was him? JJ Redick.
JJ Redick
Crickets,
may have been.
man.
Yeah, it was him. It was him.
Fultz, though.
But what he
What did he
was
get
was
LeBron
the guy
James
who
next year?
traded away.
Did he draft Fultz?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And he traded away a pick and something else to get him. And Boston didn't want him.
I know. Boston
You
was
gotta-
going
you
to
gotta
take
get Tatum.
Tatum anyways.
Yeah.
That was a great pick by them.
Colangelo's a horrible GM.
Well, you just got to guarantee you get the guy you want. I get it.
no, I don't. He's a horrible GM. He always has been.
I don't know.
He's been lucky.
He brought us
Valanciunas.
What's that guy that got off Indiana? The point guard. They're trying to.
Kurt
No. They were trying to replace Jose Calderon.
TJ Ford?
Yes.
Yeah.
TJ Ford, yo.
That's where they got TJ
That's
Ford.
like-
And Mike
okay.
James. Don't forget Mike James.
To the audience
James.
out there, my last name is Ford, and I still won't buy that man.
No, sorry, man.
He also bought us the Italian. I forget his name. Bargnani.
Oh, God.
Well,
Casey,
doesn't-
the name
doesn't
should
that-
never be
that-
repeated.
No, you know what? Bargnani was a great scorer in this league for a long time. I can't say it was a bad pick. I will stand by that.
He just didn't want to play defense.
Nah,
As far as that draft's concerned, he was probably the 5th best in that draft.
Bargnani,
In that draft, in Bargnani.
Bargnani was about 5 years, maybe 5 to 8 years too early of a pick.
5 to 8 years.
The reason why, because now centers are everyone's hitting threes, where he was ahead of the game where people weren't doing it before. So something totally different.
he was top 20 in the league in scoring for a long time.
And imagine if he was
16,
drafted
top
now
16.
with that talent that he has right now.
No,
He
not him.
still suck.
He wouldn't flourish in this league because he's not.
Nobody plays defense anymore. He would be perfect.
He was scoring because the centers didn't want to come out and he dropped.
And that's what I'm saying. That's how it is now. He's just too early, man.
He was a good player in this league.
Andre Bargnani had no passion.
So,
the Knicks didn't even want him.
yeah, the next thing.
If the Knicks don't want
Knicks was no Drake. God's plan. God's plan.
the New Jersey Nets didn't want him.
He got kicked out. That they had enough of him. They kicked him out of the league.
New Jersey Nets.
The Nets-
you
the
can't
Nets-
get lower than
The
the
Knicks
New Jersey Nets.
accepted. The Knicks accepted Bargs as one of their stars until he got injured.
All right, last thing, Timberwolves.
I don't know about this team.
I don't know.
Without Butler, nothing. Now Butler comes back and he's fully healthy.
Butler will be fine for the playoffs. Just
Didn't
like
Cat-
when Wade
didn't
had
Cat
his
drop
Vinicius
59?
removed. But
Oh,
Wade
yeah,
was
that
fine
was,
too.
that was a good break.
Jimmy Butler ruined the Minnesota Timberwolves.
What?
Wow.
You have to explain that. You have to explain that. Because he is a Timberwolves.
Everyone, let's be quiet. Let's give him
because
the
he
floor.
has stunted the growth of Andrew Wiggins.
Was he ever
He
going to grow?
slowed it down.
Whoa,
Slowed it down.
whoa.
Not stunted, slowed it
Andrew,
down.
if you watch it, Andrew Wiggins never defended. He is not a defender. He's not aggressive. This is who he is. He didn't stunt anything. This is who he is.
Andrew Wiggins has played great since Jimmy Butler is gone.
He didn't play great. He played okay.
He has been playing great since Jimmy Butler went down.
He plays like he doesn't play defense. And he was supposed to be a defensive
No, a
player.
lot of players don't play defense. James Harden doesn't play a lick of defense, and you love him. So
I don't really love him, and I'll explain that later.
That was a
I don't
very
really,
strong word.
Yeah, I don't really love him, and I'll explain that later. But I don't think he is stunning.
Jimmy Butler was supposed to go there and mentor the young guys. He ended up being their go-to guy.
Yes, and they were third in the West
And now what place are they at?
without Butler.
Yeah, but they're in like
But
fifth.
don't you see my point?
7th.
Right? He's
I
stunted
don't know
the
if that's his
growth
problem,
of
man.
the
I don't know if that's
two
his
young
fault.
guys.
I don't buy that at all.
I'm,
They took a team that's not in the playoffs and put them in the playoffs. What do you want to do? Build a winner or build growing guys? How good is he ever going
you
to
want
be?
to grow guys.
Is Wiggins
Because
going to
that
ever
team is-
average 30 a game? Because 22 is pretty good.
You want to grow your young guys. You want to turn those two. You want to turn that.
Cat's a certified all-star.
doesn't
You're
play
not gonna.
defense.
He's not gonna get much better than he is now.
Those guys don't play defense on that team.
They're not a good defensive team.
I don't know if you could say that.
How much? What's he gonna do more?
No, you can always get better.
Could always get better. I
What?
don't agree with that.
No, what you're looking at is a stat sheet and going, oh, he's going to score 25 points. He can't score more than 25 points. No, you can always make yourself better. You can score those 25 points easier.
All I'm saying is
Blah, blah, blah.
those two young kids should be the focus of that team,
No.
right?
I disagree.
But Minnesota went into I want to win now, and I don't
They
want
should.
to, and I don't want to grow this team.
How
they
much
should.
more can you lose? Like they went on and they got Jeff Teague, Taj Gibson,
Those are all
Crawford.
great players,
and
all
Jimmy
great
Butler.
players. But Jimmy Butler should not be the focal point of the offense.
So what would you rather do? Have him sit to the side and not make the playoffs while they're letting him get better? What is your play here?
My point is that this team
Show your
is
card. Show your card.
This team is not going to win a championship, right?
No.
No one thinks this team will ever win a championship, right? We could all agree on that.
Well, because there's two teams way better than them ahead of them. But anyway.
But outside of those two teams, are they better than Portland, or is Portland better than them?
I would argue that they're the same.
Okay. So you're saying outside of the two super teams, they're as good as anyone else in the West?
Yes.
Okay. So
They're the third best team in the West.
With-
fully loaded, in my opinion.
with that logic, don't you think Jimmy Butler turns them into a team that doesn't contend at all to a legitimate
not if it
contender?
stunts the growth of your two young guys.
But they're not getting better.
That, well, you think that.
No, that's
I would argue that Towns is better than he was the year before. And I would argue that even Wiggins was better than he was the year before. Are they growing at the pace we want them to? No. But now they're going even slower because they're not being that focal point. All I'm saying is this. If you want to win a title when you have teams like Golden State and Houston, right?
they're
Jimmy
not gonna
Butler is
be.
not taking you to the promised land.
Jimmy Butler.
Not this team, at least.
Jimmy
He's a good enough
Butler,
player to
the
take
Golden State Warriors, and the Houston Rockets won't be around in 4 or 5 years. True? Cat and Wiggins will. That's the difference.
But will they?
Will they
grow
still be
and-
there?
Will they?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Right? So listen, I'm obviously not blaming Jimmy Butler, the player. Right? He has to be the best player he can be and win as many games as he can. I'm talking about the organization making the decision to say, Jimmy Butler, you are going to be the focal point of our offense. I think that is a mistake. So maybe I should have said it that way.
I think you're saying
Yeah, we know.
we'd like to go to the playoffs. Let's take our top player on our team to make that happen.
But you're
And
not
you were
gonna win.
saying you didn't want to do that.
No, but you're not going to
Well,
win.
you can't just give up then, Casey.
I'm not saying give up.
Yeah.
I'm saying develop your players.
Well, those guys alone aren't going to win a championship.
They're playing in a winning system. That's development.
Anyway. Anyway, we're just going around in circles now. That was it. Just went through all teams. MVP. Who's your MVP?
James Harden.
Should have won last year.
Yeah, should have won. I should have won last year. I have a few things about that. I should have won it last year. It's not James Harden. Sorry, you guys are wrong. It's LeBron James.
MVP?
Yeah, it's LeBron James MVP.
Nah.
Why is Harden your MVP, Benny?
It's hard, man. Yeah, it's what else can? Isn't he your favorite player?
No, I told him I was going to explain that just right now.
I was just making fun of him.
It's hard, man. He literally does everything except for his like.
Except for defend.
So we were half
for
of the
defend.
game.
His defense has gotten a little better this year.
No, it hasn't. They hide him. He's still bad. He just they hide him.
A little better.
He guards the guy least likely to
Did
shoot
he
the
not
ball.
come in the league playing defense?
No.
No, he's never actually played defense.
He couldn't start.
Not even when he was
like
like a rookie.
No.
I thought that was one of his things because he was like a left-handed
So
player.
when he
Yeah, go on.
he's at least trying a little now.
No, he's not. So the argument I always hear now is that LeBron James doesn't play defense, so that's why he's not MVP. But they don't say the same thing about James Harden, which I totally don't get. And if you look at the advanced numbers, when LeBron actually does play defense, because I will admit he does take plays off. There's times you'll see him standing there, watch the guy just go to the basket. He does take plays off. But the advanced stats say he is still top 10 defensive player. One of them.
That's a horrible advanced stat. The 4 or 5 plays a game where he does play defense, he's really good at it. Thanks.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, wouldn't that like disqualify him from being
yeah,
MVP?
yeah.
Well, why didn't that disqualify James Harden?
Because we don't expect that. Listen, let's be real. The MVP race is not about stats and stuff, right?
It's the best
Or else
player on the
Steve
best
Nash would have
team.
won 2.
That's what I say all the
Right?
time.
And don't get me wrong, I believe Steve Nash deserved those too, right? But he wasn't the best.
Shaq probably
went
one
to
of those.
Shaq.
That's my point. He wasn't the best player.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: the best player on the best team wins MVP.
Well, well, I guess if you want to talk, it's 17 wins.
Yeah.
So if it's just going to be team wins, 100% James Harden gets it. But if you're talking best player,
On the team,
it's not Harden. It's LeBron.
LeBron will vote for LeBron.
Oh, he said he did.
Did he say that already?
Here's another thing I was going to say. Bring up about the MVP. So Westbrook he's getting 9.7 rebounds a game. So he's almost averaging a triple double again, and nobody was talking about him for MVP. Why?
Because he can't. He already did that last year
But it was such a big deal last time.
when they were 6th in the conference, and now
He's
they're better.
damn near. Now he has a cast.
Yeah.
Now you can't blame. Oh, he doesn't have a cast.
That has nothing to do with it.
But now he's almost averaging a triple. Because in my opinion, he shouldn't have won it last year anyway. Because that was just awful. Because this guy just hunts for it. It was so bad. He just hunts for rebounds. But now he's almost averaging a triple double again, and nobody's talking about it.
What's the difference between last year and this year?
He already got one.
No,
What?
he was the jilted.
Oh, he was a jilted lover.
He was the jilted lover last year.
We had
he
to
was
give-
the.
we had to
he
give
was
some-
the. What do you call it? The bride who gets left at the altar.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yo, what Kevin Durant did to him was cold, man.
You didn't tell him.
That was cold.
I think he had to put
And
the
the
big
way
boy
he
pants on.
rebounded was this like, you know what? I'm gonna prove that I'm this player.
So you guys block out for me, and I'm gonna have the rebounds. And if you don't score when I pass it to you, because I'm only gonna pass 10 times a game. If you don't score when I pass it to you, you're off the team.
Problems.
It's gonna be a problem. Oladipo.
Steven Adams shook his hand, was like, I ride with you, Westbrook, and made it happen.
Oladipo.
I love
Steven Adams, man.
Oladipo, stand in the corner. But I'm a better player. Stand in the corner.
I really believe that played a role in it, right?
probably
Everyone
was.
was
It probably
so
was
angry
narrative,
at
yeah.
Kevin Durant.
Yep.
And on top of that, Golden State Warriors were going to beat the Bulls record, so people were even angrier. And then Russell Westbrook was showing, yo, I'm loyal to to OKC. I'm gonna. Didn't he re-sign that same
Yeah,
year
he
too?
signed a super duper max.
Exactly.
He waited a bit. But
It was a number that I didn't even understand that you could make. That's what he signed
Right.
for.
So I mean, you look at all that, and it's like, yeah, you had to give it to him. It was for multiple reasons.
The best thing is that if Harden wins this year, that means all 3 of OKC superstars have now won MVP awards.
Can we talk about who was on that OKC team? Because
Go
I don't
ahead,
know
shoot.
if I don't know if everyone remembers.
Shoot, go ahead.
Like in the audience, remembers how big that team was. You had Ibaka, who was great back then. I mean, he's good now, but he was great back then.
I don't know about good now.
3-pointer. He played defense, rebounded.
You had
Block
Jeff.
shots.
You had Jeff Green.
Yep.
I'm talking about their lesser players right now. Right?
Jeff Green, who starts in the Cavs right now.
Yep. You obviously had Harden, Durant, Westbrook. Who am I missing, guys? I'm gonna have to look this up right now.
Perkins.
Perkins.
They had
They didn't play on the team at the same time.
Derek Fisher.
played
They
there?
had those other two guys. Choose. What's the guy?
They had Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, Reggie
Yeah,
Jackson,
Jackson.
and that other guy that I hated, and I knew he was going to be out of league, and he's out of league now. But it's another guard.
That Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, he's worth mentioning twice, Benny. You're right.
They definitely had him.
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
Totally worth mentioning twice because they gave Harden for it.
Gave up their team for it. But that team will have 3 MVPs.
The
after this season.
best drafted team ever, and went to the finals once.
But James Harden single-handedly beat the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
They lose to Cleveland Cavaliers.
No.
No, they lost to Miami Heat. Sorry, it was LeBron.
LeBron James.
Right,
LeBron James.
and that team was stacked.
What was it? 6 games? Or
James?
5 games?
6, 5.
Yeah.
Lost all 3 of them. Yeah.
But I mean, why wouldn't you keep that team?
because they want to win the tax.
They were down.
You own an NBA team.
You make money. You bring
first-
money.
I almost feel like the first they went into the tax to keep their stars, the Golden State Warriors. So people didn't understand what it meant to go into the tax.
No, because the Heat went
No,
to tax.
Heat went into the tax. Yeah,
Did they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they were over the cap when they had that.
yeah, they went into the tax.
No,
There was a cap. The cap was invented like late
no.
90s.
I said I think they're going over the cap because LeBron and
Yeah, they went to the cap.
LeBron and Bosh are making $16 million, and
Yeah,
Wade
but-
was making 17.
No, but
They're
you
still
have, to,
paying the tax.
you have to understand.
They still have the highest payroll in the NBA.
Yeah, but you have to understand NBA contracts. They go up and up every year, right?
yeah, it's
They're on
fine.
an escalator, so they've gone to tax. That's why they had to get rid of certain players.
Yeah, so they broke it.
'Cause they were trying to.
I just
yeah.
don't understand. I don't understand how you make it to the NBA Finals and then you say, "I'm not going to pay my team."
That's how you lose your team. I don't. There's nothing else to say about that. Everything that happened to them deserved to happen to them, except for the owner dying. I'm sorry. I would take that part back.
Wow, I even forgot about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I agree with you. James Harden is this year's MVP. LeBron James is in the category every year.
If there was a year to give it to him one more time, this would have been the year.
You think so?
Yeah, because after this, I don't think he's going to be. He can't do this again.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna do a lot of other things, but we're running a little bit late. Playoff formats. This has been a lot of talk around. Do you guys like the suggestion of going 1 through 16?
No.
No. Why not?
My Raptors won't be in the. My Raptors won't be in the playoffs.
No,
some years.
by that standard, this year the Raptors would be the number 2 or 3.
It would be the number 2 seed.
Yeah,
It could
three.
be 2 or 3.
Could be 3 because
Today
they've
they'd
already
be 2.
Yeah.
And they still be playing teams in the East.
Yeah, it wouldn't change at all for the Raptors.
Well, give me some reasons why it wouldn't be good. Just because
You
you're just your
would
tradition.
have to change the how many times you play each team.
In my, if you're going to change the playoff format, I would also change the conferences. I would have West, Central, and East.
You can't have conferences if you go to that kind of.
No, West, Central, East. That's just for travel purposes. Like you'd have to change everything because
Yeah, and exactly right. Like,
you have to change everything. So you just wouldn't like because it's traditionalist, or you think it's just rough on the league.
I just don't know how they would do it. To be honest with you, I mean,
Well, the playoffs is easy. I can do the playoffs, but
No, but I mean, like, okay, the Raptors right now they play a majority of their games against the Atlantic Division,
you can still have it that way.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not fair against a team that, let's say, that Dallas is in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can't remember the name of the division,
That's
but
fine.
but Houston's in it. Well, a few years ago, that division was stacked, right? Like
Yeah.
4 to 5 teams were over 500, right? So it's not fair to those teams
like the West.
who have to play more difficult teams more often than a team who's in a crappy division, right? So you would
Well,
have to change the amount of times you play
Yeah, happens.
Those type
Happens
of-
not really.
those
But
type of games.
do you like it, Benny? 1 through 16.
It has benefits, but I don't know. I like the way it is right now. It just not that I'm saying it's making more parity, but it makes it easier. If you think you're a team like Orlando,
parity.
I know.
I hate that word.
I know. But you look at a team like Orlando or Atlanta, like they wouldn't even be around. They'd fold because there's no way you ever make the playoffs.
Well, they're not gonna fold. It's not.
We never make the playoffs though.
Yeah,
Well,
but
they would.
Don't make playoffs now, so it doesn't really matter.
No, but yeah, but you have a better chance.
Playoffs a lot.
They were consistent for a while.
Yeah.
Atlanta for years.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with. I don't think that will have anything to.
But you won't make the but people don't. Fans want to come. They won't want to come. You know?
There's 2 teams in the East.
The same teams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but you can still have the hope that you might win. there's at least hope. When you don't have hope, when there's like, I ain't never gonna win.
And there's no hope. There's nothing.
There's nothing yet. So I don't know. There are benefits. Yes, it makes for more competitive, fun games, but at the same time, it's not fair to everybody else. Because exactly like, how do you split who plays who the most, and unless it'd be a logistical nightmare.
You just change it. That's
no, but it'd be a logistical nightmare if everybody played the same amount of games.
It's changeable.
That's fine.
That's me.
LeBron James. Hey, Wells. LeBron James.
LeBron James.
The future of LeBron James. Where does he go, Smythe?
I think he only has one option.
Which is?
76ers.
Are you on that bandwagon too?
Why?
Yeah, I think that's all he has.
Why are you on that bandwagon?
It just keeps him going for a few more years.
Casey wants to say something to you.
You guys laughed at me
I laughed at you.
uncontrollably
I laughed at
when
you.
I said that at the beginning of the year.
I laughed at you.
I just want to put it out there. I said it first.
It's the only logical. You won't go west.
It's not. It's not the only logical
It
spot.
is.
You just sit. No, it's not.
You could go to Houston.
There's many logical
Can't.
places.
I'll see you go to Houston.
Can't. Payroll wise, he can't go anywhere else. The only team that could fit him is the Sixers. He likes what they're doing over there. He understands that he could win over there. It's the finals for the next 4 years. And that's it.
I've been saying this for the longest time. You guys laughed at me.
Uncontrollably. bro.
Literally.
Uncontrollably.
I was hurt. Like, I mean, and it's worse when people laugh at you in a group chat because they write it out. Right?
I have to scroll up and read that again.
Right? So, Smythe's right. I think on top of what Smythe said, LeBron James likes to mentor. Right? Like, that's big to him. He likes to be that guy who said, I taught these kids how to win. Right? Don't know why he's like that, but I mean, it's not a bad trait.
He kept on calling Kyrie Irving, what was it, kid or son or something like that. He kept
My boy, Kyrie.
Yo, the kid is great. The kid. I'm like, if I was Kyrie, I would have punched him in his face.
But I honestly believe that is the best place for him to go and the most logical place for him to go.
Benny?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, people keep talking about Philly. It'd be crazy if it does happen.
No, just those two keep talking about Philly. You don't listen to them.
People talk about San Antonio, Houston.
I've never heard.
If he goes to the West, Houston and San Antonio is what I heard.
Yeah, Houston's a big one.
Both, but if you honestly, his best team in the East is honestly the Raptors.
I knew Benny would say that. I didn't want to spoil it by being like Benny's and Raptors, but I knew this guy.
But he wouldn't go to. I would say Boston, but he's not gonna play with Kyrie.
It would be great if he came to the Raptors.
Now, let's go through the years. So first it was LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
Then it was on the wagon of Marcus Aldridge.
Oh, we almost drafted him.
Then Paul George.
We picked Bargnani instead. Man.
Now it's LeBron James.
Now it's LeBron James.
No.
You gotta let that dream go.
No, he said a lot more teams. He said Paul George.
Paul George still is a.
He said Kevin Durant.
No,
I don't think you ever said Kevin Durant.
Yes, you did.
No,
Me
I
and Mark. Yeah, we're talking about
No,
me
I
and
never
Mark.
said that. No, I never said that.
Oh.
He's like, don't go that far.
No,
But
I never said that.
I was saying the other day.
Okay, wait. You want him to see him on the Raptors? Is he coming to the Raptors?
No.
Okay, where's he
I
going?
don't think if you'd ever come here.
Okay, where's he going?
Like I said, Houston or I think he'd go to the West.
Anyway,
I don't understand why everyone thinks he's gonna go to West.
there's no way in hell.
He hasn't played out there yet before.
That
wants
doesn't mean
to do
anything. He's not gonna be. Well, if he does go to the Rockets, they have to deplete their team to get him. That's why I don't like him going to the
Mike
Rockets.
D'Antoni doesn't want LeBron James. He can't shoot good enough.
I don't think they want him.
I think Mike D'Antoni's like Ryan Anderson or LeBron James. I'll give me Ryan Anderson.
I don't think the Rockets want him. To be honest with you, I think what their guy
You wouldn't want one of the best players in the league.
Nope, because they have to completely gut their team to get him.
What about if Houston loses to Golden State, which could very much happen, and the only way you could beat them is getting LeBron.
This is the thing about
James.
this is the thing about NBA, and people don't realize teams have a 4-year cycle. It's always 4 years until they got to reinvent themselves. Because
Tell that to the Spurs. Are they the only one?
no, they had to reinvent themselves like 3 times now. they had Tim Duncan who was at the head. Actually they had what was the other guy?
David Robinson?
David Robinson, Tim Duncan era. Then it was Tim Duncan. Then they had to get Ginobili, Parker, and there was a time in there they went from defense to strictly offense, and then they got Kawhi. They've had to reinvent themselves several times.
Yeah, but
and they weren't winning all
I
the time.
have to agree with him on that one.
no, but you said, what was your original question? You said one of the most successful. Like,
No, there's
repeat-
there's four cycles. There's teams happen in 4 cycles, and Golden State Warriors, they're almost up. It's about maybe a year 2 years before they have to reinvent themselves because the pays are coming up. They got to pay Draymond Green and they got to pay Tristan Thompson and they got to pay Klay Thompson and they got to pay Kevin Durant.
I don't think they afford to go in the tax year.
No, they can't. They can't. They're not going to pay for all of them.
Yeah, I think
They're
there's a
not
point
going to pay
where
for
Well,
all.
the tax goes up, it gets higher and higher the longer you have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
team, right?
And it doubles.
It
It
escalates.
escalates.
It's gonna be scary.
It doubles every time. So the Rockets could say, "Hey, this team's not going to last very long. Then we can take over." Warriors could reinvent themselves to become better, probably with Kevin Durant and Curry. Obviously, you're a good team, but they can reinvent themselves. LeBron's not going anywhere, guys. I'm sorry. It's Cleveland.
Do you want to hear the scary thing?
What?
The same cap situation that we're talking about applies to Cleveland. They might even offer LeBron James a contract next year because they're afraid of paying that much luxury tax. That is a scary thing.
No one's ever done that before.
I know.
No team's ever done that. Now I'm hearing a lot of people are saying it's coming up and it might happen. And when you say you mean part ownership when you say contract, right?
No, I'm saying they might. So look, the way their cap is now, next year the amount of money they'll be in the tax will be the same as Golden State. They're paying almost $200 million extra dollars.
Yep.
I think if they don't, they might not offer LeBron a contract so they can stay under the luxury tax.
Why would they offer LeBron a contract?
They wouldn't. I said like he has to leave. Like they're just not going to offer him anything. He's going to opt out and they're not going to sign
That
him.
makes no
back.
sense.
Well, that's how they get into the luxury.
By making your team the worst team in the East?
Yeah, you just don't pay.
Who's going to pick up Tristan's contract? Who's going to pick up
That's what-
Smith's contract?
That's
Who's
my
going to pick
point.
up?
Without LeBron
Hey,
James,
I'm
they're at
saying those are
$100
all
million.
LeBron picks. You got to blame him.
Okay, wait. So to get under the cap, you're going to get rid of your best player to make yourself the worst team in the East.
They might have to. That's what I'm saying.
Including him, LeBron and the owner, Griffin.
Dan Gilbert.
There's some bad
They're not
blood.
that, yeah.
Sorry, Dan Gilbert.
Griffin was the GM that they fired.
Yeah, there's some bad blood there, right? They don't
like each other.
Yeah.
They don't like each other.
So they might. Just
But I
like-
think LeBron James, he feels responsible for that city.
Not anymore.
You already won. You already won once.
No. It's not about winning. It's not about winning. It's
what is
everything. It's everything outside of that. Because remember when he left,
he killed the economy of
he
Ohio.
killed the economy of that city.
So
Killed
what
it.
happens if LeBron retires and what? Cleveland's going to go bail you up? Like, come on, man.
No,
Like-
I think he does feel responsible for that. If he leaves again, it's people have to shut up shop, close down businesses and everything.
They
Like that.
got some decent businesses in Cleveland.
Are you
Don't.
going to Cleveland without LeBron James?
Yeah, but you hold on.
No,
But you're saying business shut down. Like there's some big businesses out there.
There's
sure
corporate-
there is.
I'm sure there is, but the mom
some
and pop
big
Like
companies
the
out there.
bars and stuff.
the mom and pop shops and bars, they shut down. That's what happened. I'm not making. That's what happened.
LeBron James is not going to be held hostage because
No.
people have been making
No.
money off of him
No.
for
I'm
years.
What,
saying.
some
I
slave?
say
Like,
he.
yeah, make money off
No,
of
I'm
my
not.
back?
It's not a slave thing. I think he feels responsible for those people.
No, man.
That's what I personally. think.
He left. Why would he-
I don't think he does this to at all.
He
I
left.
mean, but
He left and he re-upped with Miami, didn't he?
There may be a serious issue with the cap
That's why he came back.
and the way they're gonna the luxury tax.
He came
Well,
back
you're-
to win a title for
Yeah,
the team.
but your solution doesn't make sense. They're not going to give up LeBron James
Well,
to become the worst team.
look at this.
I understand. I understand what you're talking about. I understand what you're talking about. But they're not going to give up LeBron James to become the worst team in the league just to get under the cap.
I don't think he's saying he's going to give
How
them
much are
up.
they over
I
right
think
now?
they're saying basically
yeah,
LeBron
it's-
James is not going to re-sign with them. I think
How
that's
much are they
what
over,
he's
though?
saying.
No, he said the Cavs won't resign him.
I don't think the Cavs have a chance of re-signing him. I don't think he wants to go back to Cleveland.
I don't think so either.
Interesting.
How much are they over?
They're
Right
the
now?
same. They're same as Golden State.
So what is that?
They're
It's like 17 million under
17 million over.
Yeah.
into the luxury tax. Doesn't
And
matter.
it gets doubled, right?
Yeah, and they've announced they'll be their third year
34.
tax. So same as Golden State, their third year tax.
Damn.
Oh my goodness. Where should we go now? You guys want to do some trivia instead of?
Trivia?
I got some trivia.
Go ahead, my brother.
All right, so let's go some trivia. I had a whole bunch of topics, but we're just running super
This
late.
is just.
Well, you had a pretty good topic.
You know what? Casey talks too much.
I do.
Yeah.
But you have some good topics, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, but we went super late on that because we had to go through so many teams. All right, so let's go some trivia. I'm gonna score this one. So
Just like sports trivia?
yeah. I only got
Life
6,
trivia.
I only got 6 questions here. Multiple
I'm
choice.
better at, normal trivia.
First of all, we said multiple choice.
Yeah, they're multiple choice. So someone picks a name and then whatever.
Can I Google the
You've
answer?
never
you
seen
can't.
multiple choice in your life.
You can. All right. So, who is the only player to ever lead the NCAA, NBA, and ABA in scoring? Rick Barry, Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, or Irving? When I say Irving, Dr. J.
Dr. J.
You say Dr. J?
Dr. J.
Dr. J? Benny? You're thinking too hard, Benny.
Saying Wilt.
Wilt? Rick Barry. Rick Barry.
I didn't know he played in the ABA.
I didn't know that either.
Who's been selected to more Who's been selected to more NBA first teams? Karl Malone, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan. Smythe? Karl Malone, LeBron James, Tim
know the
Duncan,
names.
Michael Jordan.
I'm gonna go with LeBron James.
All right. Casey?
Best power forward ever to play the game.
Karl Malone,
I know he's not, but still. Carmelo.
I was going to say Tim Duncan, actually.
Tim Duncan. Oh, wait. Did you mean Tim Duncan or Karl Malone?
Carmelo.
Okay, Karl Malone. Casey, Karl Malone.
Karl Malone.
Best power forward to play the game.
How many do you go to?
I don't know. I was trying to find these answers.
God
I couldn't
damn
find them. Anyway. Who had the longest winning streak in NBA history? The 2015 Heat, the 1971 Lakers, the 2015 Warriors, 2016, that should be 2016, or the 1956 Celtics. Benny,
Wasn't it the Warriors?
are you saying Warriors?
Yeah.
Final answer? Warriors?
Yeah.
Casey?
Lakers.
Lakers?
71 Lakers.
71 Lakers? 71 Lakers it is.
I suck.
Which team has had more the most defensive players of the year? The Pistons, the Magic, the Bulls, the Spurs. Casey. Which team has had the most defensive players of the year?
Can you please repeat the
Pistons,
Can use that in a sentence.
the Pistons, the Magic, the Bulls, the Spurs. The Pistons, the Magic, the Bull, the Spurs. The most defensive players.
I'm gonna go with the Pistons.
Me too.
Pistons,
Yeah,
Benny,
Pistons,
Pistons it is. Pistons it is. I don't know how many numbers it is. I tried to find these numbers. Anyway.
You're just making these up, right?
No. I found them on a website. It's kind of a weird one. Who had the third most dunks in the 2014-15 regular season?
That's a stat.
Yeah. Zach LaVine, LeBron James, Nurkic Noel, DeAndre Jordan. Benny. Who had the
DeAndre Jordan?
Third most?
third most?
Oh, New Orleans.
Nerlens? Smythe?
LeBron James.
LeBron James? Casey?
I know Levine was first. So.
LeBron James.
It's Nerlens.
Oh, come on. Benny's back.
All right.
It's the last question, right?
Last question. Who had the first ever Coach of the Year? Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, Ray Scott, Harry Gladden. He coached the Knicks.
Harry Gladden.
Boston.
Red Auerbach?
Harry Gladden.
Harry Gladden it is.
Yes.
Let's come back. Look at the comeback.
That puts me in second?
No, you all tied. 3.
Oh, my God.
Isn't the award named after Red Auerbach?
So
It's because you have the most wins. Doesn't mean
Is it? I don't even know if it's winning or not.
so what?
I don't know if it's named after.
It's because you have the most wins. Doesn't mean you're the first.
Anything else you guys want to touch on sports? I know you guys are the guests. I always say that. I always ask if anything else you guys want to touch on sports. Anything else, Casey, that's been on your mind, crying at you? I know we had some heated discussions downstairs before this.
No, I just, like I said, I hope the Raptors do well in the playoffs. I want them to make it to the actual NBA Finals
And win.
Can they?
and win. I think
think
they
they
can
can?
make it to the finals. I don't know if they could win in the finals against Houston or Golden State in 7.
Houston, they probably have.
Houston have a better chance than Golden State. Kevin Durant just kills us for some odd reason.
Because everyone likes beating up on the Raptors. It's like punching your little brother.
But it will be interesting, right? Part of me has that the same thing that a lot of people see with the Raptors is, can they do it in the playoffs? They've already proven they can do it in the regular season for the past 3-4 years now.
Something like that. Yeah.
Can they do it in the playoffs? And if they lose that first game again,
You want to see him win that first game.
Are you giving up on them if they lose the first game?
no, I never give up on the Raptors.
Well,
I loved them when Bargnani
well,
was playing on that team. Right?
They got that first game's key, man. You got to win them. You
But
got to win
they
big.
gotta prove it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
gotta
gotta win
show
big.
that they
Just
are the best team in
Get
the
that
East.
confidence going.
Right? And that's what I want to see from this team. I want them to destroy their competition the way Cleveland did last year and the way Golden State did last year and sweep their way to the finals. That's all I got to say.
Anything else on your mind, Benny?
Except for the MLB season. Woohoo! It should be fun this year. See what's going on. Saying right now, Jays are going to be terrible this year.
One game in, I declare they're going to be terrible.
But
What do you think their chances are? What do you think their chances are?
making the playoffs?
Well, what do you give them? What was it? Fangraph gave them
87.
87.
Yeah,
Over
which
under.
is
What do you think over under? I said under.
if Josh Donaldson is hurt, under.
87
Which he is.
not. Yeah, he's hurt. He can't
Will be
throw the ball.
under, but still, it's game
He
one.
can't get the ball to
Game
first
one.
base.
Game one.
It's insane.
Game one.
It's insanely
Will be,
brutal.
they'll be under, but if the pitching holds up and they,
That's the key, though. I think that's the key.
I'm not asking for home runs. I'm just asking for singles. That's all I say. And doubles. Honestly, it sounds boring, but trust me, it's exciting when you see that stuff. But
Well, if you're
it'll be that, and also it'd be interesting what we talked about earlier. Well, off the podcast is how Toronto's been raising up that money, and that's going to come into effect because if they're terrible.
Oh my god.
we are not talking about this.
Yo, hear me out. But if they're terrible,
Hang on, explain to the kids at home what you were talking about.
so essentially what's happening, Toronto's teamed up with StubHub, as plenty of other teams have, and to sell secondary ticket markets, which is totally normal. A lot of people do that. However, the thing that came out based on the study from a local paper here, Globe and Mail, that they found out that the Blue Jays are making money off the secondary market, which is like raw. But anyways, people find
How
out.
wrong it is. They're terrible.
Every MLB team
Every team's
does
probably
the
doing
same thing.
Every team is probably doing this. I don't see how it's a bad thing. Fans are still going to go. They don't care about that.
I know, but
They
if
can
your
afford it,
team's, if
they're
your team's bad, but don't forget, like Toronto, they're like on average, their tickets are way more higher than anyone else.
Yeah, in every sport.
Way
Yes,
more than anyone
I know
else.
that.
Also
So compared
way
to the
more-
other guys in the other, other teams
Yes.
in the
We
league,
have way more
I understand.
money than the rest of the league.
No, it's Canadian. It's Canadian
no,
difference. It's Canadian difference. That's
but
what I do.
it's
No,
but I'm saying when
Toronto's a rich city.
but I'm saying
But it's also the Canadian dollar difference. That's why.
The
that's
people
why.
Toronto
in the
is a
city
rich
has
city.
more money.
Yes.
They pay more for everything because we have more money to spend on.
No, but they're saying the tickets are more than New York. It's
Yeah.
the Canadian. It's a Canadian dollar difference because they're trying to make it up compared to the rest of the teams. That's why the Raptors do it, and all the hockey teams do it.
No, but we're saying if you flip it and make it dollar for dollar, the same currency, we pay.
I understand.
More per ticket.
I understand that Toronto
everyone
pays
else.
for it, but the reason they're higher is because they're trying to make up the difference between the American market and our market.
You're not
Well, so
okay.
that argument would be then is that the ticket prices should lower when the dollar is closer to par. But that
but that's
doesn't
not the
happen.
case. No,
Well, who's going backwards? Who's going
My
backwards?
point is that people in Toronto could afford.
Yes, I know
to
that.
go watch
Yeah,
it.
that's my point. I don't
That's
care
a
how
big
much.
difference. That was a surprising stat with the New York though. That surprised me.
no,
Yeah.
but like when you're paying 81 games, it's a lot of games, man. And when you're terrible, nobody goes.
What are you talking about? Nobody.
The team makes money. The team makes money because they make the money off the secondary market because those
not
tickets
true.
are accounted for. Yeah, it is.
That's not true.
But
No, that's not true. That nobody goes. People go.
Nobody goes.
People go.
Nobody goes.
What? 5 people go. People go. 30,000
What
people.
Jays last year, nobody was going at that.
Yes,
like,
they were.
At the end of the season, nobody was going.
At the end of the season.
Yeah,
They were
when the
still
team was
going.
out. Okay,
They were still going
just
during the
because
season.
you got 10,000 people doesn't mean people are like that's bad, man. It looks
At
terrible.
the end of the season, 10,000 people. Yes, but during the whole season,
Actually,
they
they're
were
probably
going.
doing 7,000 or 8,000.
Okay. At the end of the season. At the end of the season, when they realize they're out,
when all the non-playoff teams don't have people come.
But
to the
it's
game.
just
they were
trust
still
me,
being filled.
and-
The seats were still being filled. There were still 30,000 people in there.
no.
Yes,
never
during
30,000.
summer. Yes, there was.
No, there wasn't.
100% there was.
When they were bad,
Last year? Yes.
they can't get much worse than they were
way.
last year.
yeah, they can.
They were still top 10 in attendance,
Yeah,
right?
they can.
Yes.
Like people
Well,
watch
yeah,
these games.
okay. Your top 10 attendance is based on ticket sales, not by who comes inside the building. They don't look at that.
Do they care about who actually comes to the game if the tickets are sold, Benny?
Well, people will.
It doesn't matter if tickets
Because
are sold.
because when is it if because they split the season tickets, right, between secondary like the resale market and the regular, right? So if like the team is crap, right, the secondary market tickets are too expensive, means the regular people are not going to be coming. So then you're going to rely on your secondary number tickets, right? Like, or the pricing, whatever it is. Yes, the team has gotten the money and they made that bulk money, but nobody going there is not going to help the team out. Nobody.
Dude, they're fourth in attendance last year.
I know.
They're top 5 in attendance.
No,
all of this is a mute point now.
but because most of the season tickets were sold before it was even before the season even started.
Right. So
based on how hot it got.
there are 26 teams that sell less tickets than the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes, I know that, but that was based on the Jays were terrible for eons. Were you there like in 2011, 2010?
I get what you're saying.
I was there. There was like nobody
But what
there.
I'm saying is you're saying nobody's going. But there's
And it was terrible.
more people go to Toronto games than 26 other teams in this league.
Yeah, because it was based on how well they did in the years, like when they first made the
Last year
playoffs.
they were bad.
But you guys are going to notice this year how much is going to dip down. That number will change.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
They're still gonna be top 10.
Yeah, it is.
I will bet you money right now. They're still gonna be top 10.
Here's the thing.
100%.
No, they won't.
Here's the thing. The secondary market thing's tough, but here's what's happening.
not.
StubHub's releasing, or the Jays releasing tickets to StubHub because they make more money on them. I do it. They're
But
not selling them and reselling them.
But
They're saying
I'm not like that.
these tickets are yours.
As a fan, that doesn't bother anybody. It's the fact that when they're making money off the resale, like let's just say the ticket's $700, they're making, let's say, $450 out of the $700 of the resale. That does not happen. That's not like a lot of teams do resale, but not a lot of teams actually go in and make money off the resale.
I bet you it happens more.
So how the actual story reads is StubHub has agreement with every single team in the league.
Yeah, that's normal.
So StubHub's allowed to buy tickets and resell them over
and
price
just
they
distribute.
want.
Yeah, distribute the product.
And they cut the major league team in. They cut the NBA teams in. They cut the conferences
distribution
in.
partner.
So instead of a guy using a robot and buying tickets and reselling them, these actual companies are saying, forget those robot guys, give us tickets. And
No,
Jays
they are
saying-
robots that are using their buying the tickets.
But they're not doing that anymore.
StubHub does that.
Right, so StubHub.
Well, they might be still doing it, but
There's
it's
still
gonna get
robots
cut.
doing
They're
it.
Still,
No,
it's gonna get cut.
but they're saying there's agreement with the team. So they'd say, okay, Jays, we're buying 20,000 seats to the game tonight. Okay, perfect. Here's what you want for it. Here's all the money. So tickets are sold. Plus, we're going to give you a kickback from what we sell on StubHub. And the Jays are saying, okay, instead of saying, no, that's
Jesus
not cool.
Christ.
I don't.
Overall-
It's great. Business wise, it's great.
Overall,
I get it.
Overall, home and away, they're the sixth most. They're sixth highest in attendance.
away. What was that? Leaving them to go to
Total,
other
like
places?
home and away. They're sixth.
They
highest.
get a lot of fans, man. But I'm telling you, it's not going to change this
No,
year.
it's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
it is.
It's not, Benny.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I don't know,
not.
man. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
They were
Like
really
Casey
bad
said-
last year.
Like Casey said, this city has money and they're
They spend- they
they're
go to
spending
games.
it.
You know what?
I don't. Hey,
But guess what? Guess what? TFC is going to dip into that number.
no, they're not.
Get
No,
outta
they're
here,
not.
man.
No, they're not.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so?
People already go there. TFC games are all sold out all the time. There's not enough seats there to fill them.
Casey's like, no, here's a no.
Actually, no. TFC took
How
a
many-
huge dip in season ticket holders.
Season
huge.
ticket, but tickets sold,
They took a big dip. Have you gone and seen those games? There's like barely anybody sitting at the top.
and they won the championship.
Well, the game
So
I
that-
went- the
Yeah,
game
but
I
now,
went
but
to
now, but now, like
that
'cause they won
totally
the championship.
debunks your theory because
What
they
do you
were the
mean?
best team ever last year, and they didn't sell out of tickets. I'm just saying.
Late in the year, they sold tickets.
They're-
But
well, they're the
most
best
of
team in MLB history
There was
last
nobody
year.
there. There's nobody
So
watching
the
the
best team ever sold no tickets, and the Jays, who sucked last year, were top 5.
because
Okay.
man,
I'm just-
it's big. Like the Jays' success.
Oh man, TFC's number 3, but this is so bad. This is so bad.
The
man.
Jays.
How
the
many
Jays.
teams are in the ML? How many teams are in MLS?
Like 20, 30. I'm telling you, the Jays are gonna be shit.
I get it, but now you're just.
I'm not agreeing.
It's a guess right now. You're guessing.
I'm not agreeing.
Based on what you
Okay,
just
so
said.
so what's StubHub gonna do then?
You
Like
just had back-to-back-
StubHub's not gonna run out of that. They're not gonna do it anymore the following year because if nobody's gonna buy the secondary tickets, what are they gonna do?
People are buying the tickets, Benny. You're saying they won't this year.
They
but
won't.
According to the records, the crappy Jays.
Yeah,
were
but you
number
guys are looking
4.
last year's records.
Thank you. So that's when the Jays were really
Yeah,
bad.
but let's be real. We're talking about this year. I'm not talking about last
Yeah,
year.
the one game they played.
Are they going to be worse this year than last year? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Okay. So if they are, then they're going to dip further down there before.
Huge, massively, and a lot of people. And like, think about this. They redid the whole flex backs, and then these things change it up in order to get more seat sales, and yet they still don't have enough.
Okay. So now, based on that logic,
Based on the last couple of
TFC
years.
were the best team ever last year, and there's people not in the seats.
TFC has some serious loyal people.
Okay, but they okay. You know what?
A damn near full stadium.
Yeah. I think we're just gonna just post numbers on Instagram. Just take a snapshot of these and just be like, go to 2.5 hours to hear Benny's rant and look at the ticket sales. Just explain it to us because we don't get it. We have to go though. It's 2.5 hours. You guys are the best. Will you guys come back, please?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
I actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah.
It's not that hard part. You can find the Team Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right? iTunes. I never mentioned iTunes. We're on iTunes. People download all the time.
Anywhere you can find podcasts, really.
Yeah, basically, and our podcasts are found.
And if you want to talk sports with Benny, where can they find you, Benny?
Benny Pinto on IG, and I think Benny Pinto on Twitter. Yeah. The only ones I got, man.
Casey, can you tell them your
On Instagram?
social,
Where can we find you on Instagram?
I don't have Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, social media.
You don't subscribe to the Facebook?
I don't know what the Facebook is.
Don't have InstaFace?
I don't. Yeah, there's no way to contact me.
All right, cool.
You can't get through.
But we're definitely gonna. This is Benny's second go around of it. We're definitely gonna have Casey back. Maybe when Wells is back.
We'll definitely have Benny back as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, a Tumblr, guys. We like Tumblr.
Yeah, he loves Tumblr.
Tumblr us. So much
Yeah, I
fun.
don't know what Tumblr is.
Tumblr's a dirty place. Don't go there.
All right, guys.
And you can catch us all this stuff at theparkdaily.com. Go to parkdaily.com. You can stream everything. This whole 2.5 hour episode. Is this August episode? No.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
What about that one with the fail? That first one?
Nope.
Oh, really?
I blame Benny.
Yep.
Yeah, I was pretty tame today, man.
Now next week we're gonna have that Super Show, guys. The horseplay and team podcast mashup.
Yes.
Tune into that. That might even go longer.
There's so much going on.
If Wells has his way, that might even go longer.
So much happening.